Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day one of the British Swimming Championships 2022. We are back here, poolside, with Deep and Live, and I tell you what, I'm so excited to be back. It's been a wild couple of years, ladies and gentlemen, and back in the studio for all the action. If you're watching at home, it is an absolute pleasure to have you. If you're here in the arena, we've got spectators back. It's awesome to see them as well. If you're using social medias, don't forget to use the hashtag BSC22. Use that across the entire week. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, what a week we have ahead of us. By the end of tonight's session, we're going to be crowning 6 new British champions. And of course, with all the international meets we've got coming up this week as well, they're going to be looking to put in some big swims, shall I say, this year. Looking to put in some big swims this week in front of those selectors. Now, joining me, I'm pretty excited about this. We've got someone who has taken a break from the pool, taken a step outside of it. You're going to know her face. We know her. We love her. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Amy Wilmot.
Hello, hello.
Yes, right? Now, Amy, you, of course, were part of the best, most successful British team ever at that Tokyo Olympic Games. That's where your swimming career came to an end, and now you're here with me. What's retirement been like? What's been going on?
A lot. It's been really nice to step away from the pool. Kind of the timing was right. I'd been to an Olympics, my 3rd one. Obviously, it was our most successful in terms of Great Britain, so it was a nice kind of to tie the knot really and close that chapter. And outside the pool, I've been getting married, sort of now I'm having a baby. So yeah, everything's moved on really, really quickly.
Very, very big congratulations to you. I'm super excited for the little one. I know a lot of people are going to miss you racing, but I'm happy you're on our team now. So let's bring it back to this competition. Of course, it's night one of the competition. You've been in this position before. How are these athletes going to have prepared for this one? It's been a bit of a different year this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think this year, off the back of an Olympics, is a little bit of an up and down year for most. Some people choose to get straight back in. We've obviously had the ISL, which a lot of athletes did. Some people, like Adam, ended up on Strictly Come Dancing. So we've got a lot of sort of different preparations from different athletes coming into this meet. So some guys will be swimming really fast, unrested. Some will have sort of full shave down and be ready to go. So yeah, it's always a bit of a sort of an up and down year for most after an Olympics. So it's good to have everyone here though and swimming fast as we saw this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it was faster than I thought. I suppose you're sort of saying maybe a bit of a reset year for some of these athletes, right?
Yeah, definitely. You need that mental break after an Olympics. It was not even just a 4-year, it was a 5-year cycle for most. So to have that time away from the pool with your family to kind of just refresh and refocus, set new goals for the next season. And we've got 4 or 5 sort of championships with the juniors and sort of senior guys coming up this year. So it is a very busy program, and some of them will have needed that break.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a very busy racing season this year. I've never seen a schedule like it. Will that affect sort of how some athletes are approaching this competition and moving forward into the season?
We have some athletes that were pre-selected from the World Championships, so those guys might not be firing on all cylinders. They'll kind of be here using this as a process competition. So for the others that haven't necessarily sort of secured a place on the team, they'll be looking to qualify for the Worlds, or whether it's Europeans or a Commonwealth in Birmingham. So there's lots of different options for those athletes, and not every athlete will swim all 3 events. So we've got the capacity to have a lot more experience and a lot more sort of the younger swimmers coming through and representing Great Britain at world stage.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what some of these youngsters are doing. And of course, we saw them swim fast this morning. Can we maintain it through tonight's session? I hope so. Now, of course, like we're back here with the studio, we've got Amy with us. We're going to be going live with post-race interviews and, of course, having a bit of fun as well with some of these athletes throughout the week. Now, before the pandemic hit, we played a game in the lead into Tokyo called our Chopstick Challenge with the diving trials. We were set to do this with our swimmers before they went to Tokyo. Of course, everything shut down, but we thought, Amy, since you're in Tokyo, and we're just off the back of that, we will carry this on. It's the Chopstick Challenge. It's a lot of fun. You guys are very competitive. I can't wait to see what happens with the rest of the athletes this week. But take a look and see how Tom Daly did. And then, Amy, when we come back, we're going to get you to set the initial score for this week. So let's take a look. Okay, here we go. It's going to be interesting. 3, 2, 1. Come on, Tom. Stay focused. Stay focused. Just the one. Yes! Oh my God, Grace Reed is going to be fuming too. 3, Okay, if you beat me, I'm not going to be happy about this.
Don't beat me.
Come on, 4.
Oh my goodness.
10 seconds, 5.
No.
Yes, come on. 6. 4, 7, 2, 1. Well, I'll tell you what, I know how competitive athletes are, so it's going to be really funny to see how they do. Now, Amy, Tom had a broken hand during that one, so how do you think you're going to do? You know the rules. You've got to move as many Skittles as you can from this side to this side in 30 seconds. You got the rules?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Pressure is now on. You see, we still got you competing, even though you're out of the pool. All right, can I get 30 seconds on the clock, please, Mr. Producer? We're ready to go. Amy, in 3, 2, 1, and you're off. Okay. Now, we did do this with, I must point out, we did do this with M&Ms with the divers, but they all melted. So we moved to Skittles. They may be a little bit more slippery. What's your strategy here, Ames?
Just hope for the best. I can't even hold the chopsticks.
We're halfway through. She's on 2, 3. Come on, you can do this. You can do this. A little bit of focus. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop! All right, Ames.
It was so stressful.
She did 5. More stressful than an Olympic final?
Almost, yeah.
Almost. All right, Amy, that is going to be the score to beat. We're going to be getting our athletes who are in the studio in the pre-show throughout the rest of the week are going to be competing that. But so far, 5 is the score to beat. Right, I'm going to be sending you up into the commentary box. If you're watching at home, strap yourselves in. You're going to be with Andy Jameson and Amy Willman up there in commentary. We'll see you in a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are just moments away from getting the action underway. The voice that you're going to be hearing throughout the commentary, joined by Amy Wilmot, will be Andy Jameson. He is, of course, the voice of swimming. Andy, this morning's session, first session out of the way. I know you're up there in the voice of the gods. What have we got to look forward to in the coming session?
Well, to be honest, we've got some fantastic swimming. We're going to start off with 250s, women's 50 meters breaststroke, and then the men's 50 backstroke. And the women's 50 breaststroke, we've got Imogen Clark going against Sarah Vasey. So we've got British record holder against Commonwealth champion. Really looking forward to that. But I think this year, Amy, is going to be a little bit of a sort of a reset year. There's quite a few of the Olympians moved on or maybe not swimming some of the 50s. So the men's 50 backstroke, I think, is pretty wide open. I think there's going to be some really interesting stuff going on in that final. It's going to be quick, but it's going to be fast.
We saw some of the boys kind of split the whole field really by only a few tenths of a second. So even the fastest guys in the B final would have been pushing to swim really well in the A. So yeah, it'll definitely be a quick final.
And then we've got the women's 200 meters freestyle. And again, we've got Freya Anderson and Abby Wood, two of our fantastic Olympic finalists. And well, certainly Freya Anderson got an Olympic gold medal in that mixed medley relay. So that was a fantastic result for her. Men's 400 free is going to be an interesting one. It was a little bit cat and mouse this morning. So Dan Jervis, Kieran Bird, two Olympians. That's going to be a fascinating one.
Yeah, it was really kind of close even to the finish on the, and we wouldn't normally expect that in a 400 freestyle. So we've obviously got Stephen Milne as well in there. So there's a few names in the middle that we kind of really wanted to sort of watch out and look for.
And then we've got the women's 400 medley. That's going to be fascinating given the fact that our two big guns have recently retired. So again, that's wide open. And then, of course, the big one. Adam Peaty goes in the final race, the men's 100 meters breaststroke, the world record holder, of course, against James Wilby and also Ross Murdoch, both of whom have made the World Championship finals. So that's going to be an absolute cracker. Of course, 6 competitions here are going to be qualified for. So there's an awful lot to go for all the way through the program, the seniors and the juniors.
Well, if you're watching on the stream at home, those are the voices you're going to hear. And of course, if you're here in venue, it's over to Alan. Let's get into it. Oh, thank God.
So this is going to be a great session, the first session. And as we were talking about earlier, it's a really interesting year this year. There's not been a British Championship where we've had all the juniors and all the seniors at the one meet for a good long time, 2019. So a lot of the juniors, Amy, probably weren't even really thinking about swimming in senior national championships at the time. And there's so many here, a really great opportunity for them.
Yeah, definitely. They've not had that opportunity in the past. They were probably sort of 12, 13 when their last sort of chance to swim at a British Championships was on. So for them, it's one of the sort of their, well, it'll be their biggest competition. So it's definitely exciting for them.
Well, it certainly will be. And the first race up will be the women's 50 meters breaststroke. And we've got 4 finals for you in each event. So we've got a junior final. Then we've got a priority Paris final. Then we've got the B final of the seniors, and then we've got the A final of the seniors. So they do fill it up from the 4th one back. So the fastest swimmers, the fastest 8, regardless of age, will be in the A final. Then they'll fill up the B final. Then they'll fill the priority Paris final with swimmers who were born 2001 and after, and then they go to the junior final. And here, the first one, it is the women's juniors 50 meters breaststroke. And we've got some very, very quick swimmers in here and some real young ones as well.
Yeah, we've got Ellie and Jade in the middle of the pool, sort of born 07, so we'll keep an eye on those girls in this event.
Well, this is a major qualification meet for World Championships for seniors, European Championships for seniors to an extent, certainly the Commonwealth Games, and then for the juniors, World and European Junior Championships, and then of course the European Youth Olympics. But we don't often select directly from the 50 meters. They often fill up from the 50 meters. So these women, it'll be a very good opportunity for them to put down a really good time, but very few of those 6. In fact, I think only really the Commonwealth Games will be selected on the 50 meters. I think all the rest you can't qualify, World Championships, Europeans, etc.
Yeah, so there's no sort of times for those, and even for the junior swimmers, they will be pre-selected off the 100 if they swim well in the 50 events.
So the first final of this 2022 British Championships here in Ponds Porch in Sheffield, women's 50 breaststroke, the junior final. Fastest seed is Ellie Kennington from Plymouth Leander. Ellie right in the centre in that silver hat, and she's had a good start.
Yeah, really nice start. She's got up into the race, looking technically really, really good here.
Well, 2 and 3 also going very well. That's Chloe Skelt of Mount Kelly. They've had a super year winning that club championships, and then Caitlin Nansom also going well, but they are absolutely in a line, nothing to choose with about 10 meters to go, and this is really, really tight. Goodness me, the first title is going to go well. Where is it going to go? So tight. It's gone to Caitlin Nansom of the City of Manchester Aquatics, 33.15, just 8/100ths ahead of Ellie Kennington of Plymouth Leander, and 3rd place was Jade Quersha of Hackney. But what a race that was, and it was so close with about 10 to go. It was just impossible to choose.
Yeah, you can't sometimes call these 50s. It's all about getting your hands on the wall first to finish, and as we see, 0.1 splitting first to 3rd there.
That's amazing. Well, what a close first final. And straight into the second final, and that being the Priority Paris final for the women in the 50 meters breaststroke. Women born 2001 and later. And the fastest seed in this is Georgia Heitner of the city of Liverpool. And well, they've got women born 2002, 2003 and 2004. There's quite a few 2001s in the next races, and as I said, they will be filling up the races from the A final, then the B final, then into this Priority Paris, and then into the juniors.
Yeah, so some of our fastest junior swimmers might actually appear in sort of the A and the B finals a little bit later on. So I think it's really, really positive for those girls to be swimming in the most competitive final that they can.
And a great opportunity for these women. They have not been at these championships. Nobody in lane 7, that's Molly Monk. So the Priority Paris final is away, and in lane number 4, a very good start from Georgia Heitner.
Yeah, red hat in the centre there, coming through really nicely, sort of building that momentum through the race.
So red hat right in the centre, but it looks like it may well be lane number 5. It is Beth Dennis of City of Sheffield. Is she going to take it? It's going to be real close. Who's got the touch? It is Beth Dennis. Well, I've got to say, Amy, I was a little bit worried. I called it about 5 out, and I've got to say I really wasn't sure at all. Another fantastically close race.
Yeah, super close. As you say, the 50s are always really tight right up to the final. So it's all about how you, well, basically the momentum you can carry and how hard you can hit the touch pad sometimes. So yeah, another 0.2 split in sort of first to third there. Another really tough and competitive swim for these girls.
What a race that was. Equal 6th as well, super close. So, the first 2 junior finals over, women's junior 50 breast and the Priority Paris 50 meters breaststroke. Now we've got the B final, and we've got, well, the fastest seed, born in 2006. These ages are just freaking me out. 2006, 16 years of age, Sophie King swam really well in the heats at 32.51. But very good swimmer in 3.
Yeah, you've got Kayla van der Meer just outside that as well. Obviously, it was really close this morning, sort of 32.5. So the fastest seed, 32.61 from Kayla's in 3rd. So she's a medal winner at the European Juniors and World Juniors. So keep an eye out for her in this race. She's definitely not one to forget about, even though she's not the fastest seed.
So 50 meters breaststroke, the B final. Jessica Ayling in 1, Casey Robertson in 2, Kayla van der Merwe in 3, Sophie King in 4, Megan Robinson in 5, Louise Jones in 6, 7 is Amelia Riggett in 8, Anna Morgan of Edinburgh. I suppose in a sense, this B final just gives these women another great opportunity to come out, swim a second race. Hasn't been done for such a long time. It must be fascinating. I wonder what's going through their head right now.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit nervous. I think it's a great opportunity for those girls who are slightly older that wouldn't make the 50s where there's an age bracket. So they can come in, yes, they might have missed out on the A final, but it means they get a second swim and they get a second chance to post a fast time, stand up in an evening, swim at a British Championship. So it's not necessarily the B finals they've lost out, it's just another great opportunity for the slightly older girls to stand up and swim fast.
And there's a really good mix as well. There's a 24-year-old and there's a 16-year-old in this. I'm so pleased we've finally got spectators back in the pool. It's been such a long time since mums and dads have been able to do that.
Yeah, it's nice and busy. It's nice to see. Sort of my Olympic trials last year, obviously there was no spectators, so my parents were a little bit gutted not to be there and see that. So it's nice that parents can be back in the venue, support their children. Obviously, it's a massive journey that they go through, not only the swimmer, so it's good to have them here, filling up the stadium, cheering loud, and I've already seen a few parents that I recognise up there.
There's a little bit of a delay just at the moment because on the main scoreboard in the stadium here at this Ponds Forge, fantastic Ponds Forge swimming pool in Sheffield, which is at the other end, it's at the finish end. They've got the final swimmers listed. There we go. I think we've just changed it now to the B final. So they had the A finalists up there, but they've just changed the swimmers now to the B final. So I would hope now that we can get going. And Sophie King is in lane number 4, Annette in 5, Megan Morrison of Loughborough University. So the B final, the women's 50 metres breaststroke, not a selection event for the World Championships or the Europeans, but Commonwealth Games places definitely are up for grabs. And of course, with the Commonwealth Games, you've got the home nations as well. So England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. So there's plenty of places up for grabs here.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people in these events that we might not kind of notice for that Commonwealth consideration time. So they'll be trying to swim as quick as they can, whether they're from, sort of, as you say, England, Ireland, Scotland or Wales.
Well, Louise Jones going well from Wolverhampton up there in 6, but it is very tight indeed again. Also going well in 8 is Anna Morgan of Edinburgh. 6 and 8 at the moment, but coming through in 7 is Amelia Riggott of Mount Kelly. Really tight, very tight finish. In the end, I think it was Megan Morrison in lane 5 from Loughborough University wins it. Louise Jones second. My goodness me, it was tight. It really was. It's just 0.59 of a second splitting all 8 swimmers.
Yeah, you saw Megan there finish on a nice full stroke, potentially maybe slightly longer than she might have wanted, but rather than adding in an extra one, she just got her hands on the wall and makes all the difference in a sprint event when 0.08 we see separates 1 and 2.
32.3 is the winning time. Good quarter of a second faster than that time that she set to qualify for this B final. But the fastest 8 swimmers in Great Britain on the 50 metres freestyle coming up now, and they're going to be introduced in reverse order of speed of qualification, but in the centre for me is going to be really interesting. Looking forward to this one. 50 metres freestyle, the head-to-head, Sarah Vasey and Imogen Clark, Commonwealth champion and British record holder.
Yeah, so Imogen's British record is 30.04, so we know she'll be quick if she's firing on all cylinders. We've obviously got Sarah Vasey, 2018 Commonwealth champion. She was actually my roommate at the time, so it was nice that we could both come away with a gold there. And obviously we can't forget about Cara Hanlon, hoping to qualify for the Scottish team in this 50 breaststroke. So yeah, wide variety of swimmers, hoping to show off for different reasons.
Indeed, and the Isle of Man, Laura Kinley, great to see them here. I think Isle of Man swimming in the Commonwealth Games as a what is it, principal? What is it, nation?
Yeah, I imagine a home nation if we were calling that.
Yeah, well, let's hope she can qualify. There you can see the British record of Imogen Clark set back in 2018, 4 years ago, 30.04. What a swim that was. So coming out for University of Edinburgh, there's 2 Edinburgh swimmers, Katie Goodburn in lane 6, and in 5 is Cara Hanlon.
Yeah, so here we have Imogen. She's got a nice seat. You can see her in her puffer jacket. She's staying nice and warm, getting ready. Obviously, last swimmer out. You haven't got lots of time to kind of get your kit off behind the block. So sometimes a puffer jacket is the best way forwards for a lot of those athletes.
And what are they thinking here? I mean, this is a sprint, so they really have to get going and really get on it. But if they go too quickly, and well, would they snatch that? I mean, what are the challenges of a 50 metres?
Yeah, you can't afford to be too slow off the block. You've got to be in the race, but at the same time, you don't want to be scrappy. You want to swim a really well executed 50. If you over-egg it, it can just be very scrappy, as you say, and technically it ends up falling apart.
So the British record holder, Imogen Clark, is in lane number 4. Next world record holder on this 50 metres breaststroke, Vasey in 5, Commonwealth champion. Sorry, Vasey in 3, Clark in 4, Hanlon in 5. The A final of the women's 50 metres breaststroke, and a very good start indeed from Imogen Clark.
Yeah,
that was a superstar.
Really good start. She got up nice and quickly there into a stroke. You see her rate is really high. She looks super controlled. Technically a very good breaststroke swimmer over the 50 metres.
Well, this is a fabulous swim. The British record is pretty much 30 flat. This will be fascinating to see. It really will. A very good swim indeed. She's going to get under 30. I tell you what, 30.10. That is a massive surprise. And I thought with 1 stroke to go, she had it, you know.
Yeah, very, very quick swim. I guess sort of 0.06 off your British record. You can't be too disgruntled with that. Probably the fastest swim she's swam in a while. Obviously, her heat from this morning was 30.7, so she's done a massive drop from that, and yeah, she seems pretty happy, as she would be.
Well, she set the British record 4 years ago, so that's a stunning swim and a really good warm-up, I guess, for the 100 later on in the week.
Yeah, she's predominantly more of a 50 swimmer as we see her in that. Sarah's slightly more tailored towards 100, but yeah, it definitely gives you confidence knowing that you're on form and you're swimming really well, and carry that into the rest of the week.
Well, it was a really dominant swim, and she swam that first 25 very well, but then just started putting the afterburners on. Really swam away from the rest of the field. A bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, you just saw her accelerate and keep getting faster and faster, and she really just kind of burned away from the rest of the field.
So Imogen Clark winning the women's 50 meters breaststroke in 30.10. Vasey second, Hanlon third. Both of them very close indeed. 11-100 splitting the silver and the bronze.
Well, Imogen, what a fantastic start to your week. You smashed that. A quick splash and dash to get your program underway. Must have felt good out there.
Oh, yeah, it was brilliant. You know, it's always great racing the girls. 50 breast is my preferred event, so it's great that there's a trial to actually do the 50. I just loved it. You know, that's my second best ever time, so I'm buzzing with that.
Oh, I mean, that must put you in such good stead heading into this year as well. So many events coming up, so many internationals. You know, to be swimming this fast at this early on in the season.
Oh, definitely. Like, to be swimming fast now is brilliant because the end goal is in April, you know, it's the summer. But I set it up well at ISL, I think, in November. It's just been a matter of doing it long course, so it's brilliant to be back down at near my best time again.
And he did it in front of spectators, first time in a few years. Congratulations, new British champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Imogen Clark!
Thank you.
That really was a fantastic swim, I've got to say. Very, very impressive. And I thought she was going to go under 30 seconds. What a massive barrier that is on a 50 breaststroke.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. I think, as she said, it's her sort of second fastest time ever, and we saw that she posted her British record sort of 4 years ago, so it's great for her to be back on form, and the smile says it all, really. When you get a swim and you know it's been in there and you're just waiting to kind of let it out the bag, it's nice when it all comes together, and especially to do it at British Swimming Championships and be crowned British champion.
Indeed, and in that last race, Cara Hanlon and Katie Goodburn, both Scottish swimmers, and I wouldn't be too surprised if they're getting close to booking themselves spots on that Scottish team. I don't know if they're Scots. Are the Scots picking the 50 metre races for the Commonwealth Games here?
Yeah, so there's a couple of Scots in this men's 50 back that we can keep an eye out as well for. So yeah, there's just a select sort of set of times and selection criteria, so they'll be coming up in the A or the B finals.
So the first of the finals is the junior final in the men's 50 metres backstroke, and normally there's only 8 lanes, but there was a tie for 8th, and British Swimming decided to put both the 8th and 9th swimmers in. A good decision that, I'm pleased to say. But so fastest seed in this first final, the junior final of this men's 50 metres backstroke, Archie Evans right in the centre. But my goodness me, a good start then up in lane 7, Oscar Barlow.
Yeah, really hard to split some of the athletes coming into a 50, but yeah, really good start, and you know you've kind of got that little advantage at the beginning.
Calvin Fry also going very well indeed down in lane number 2. He's just tied up a little bit. Who's got the touch? It looks like 4. It looks like Archie Evans of Corby, and he really threw himself at that wall. Not all the timing pads have registered though. In lane 5, Henry Gray of Chelsea and Westminster, his timing pad didn't register, so it'd be interesting to see where he came.
Yeah, definitely. I think the scoreboard's still ticking on, so until you look up and you see the result, you're kind of a little bit wary as to what's happened and where you finished, but hopefully we'll get a result quite quickly.
Well, his second 25 and certainly the last 10, very good indeed for Archie Evans, the 22-year-old from Corby. We're saying 22, born in 04. We've got all the ages of the year that they were born, so I'm hoping and guessing that he's 22. He might still be 21.
18.
18, excuse me. Yeah. Get my maths right. Exactly. So the results still not quite confirmed. At the moment, they've given Chelsea and Westminster swimmer a 27.2. Not quite sure if that is right. There might be disqualification as well, so we'll just have to wait and see. So there's the result of the junior final. There was indeed a disqualification. Connor Cherrington of Millfield got disqualified, but the winner clearly, Archie Evans of Corby, 26.55. Fry second of Kelly, 26.76. Great swim from him as well.
Yeah, his finish was definitely sort of important for him to get his hand on the wall and finish ahead of the rest of the guys. Really impressive.
So the junior final is over. The priority Paris final. 4 finals in each event. Such a good idea. Really fantastic to give as many swimmers an opportunity to come back and swim in the evenings as is possible, given the fact that it's been such a long time, particularly for these juniors. They've not been allowed to swim in the British competition due to COVID. So Robbie Hemmings, fastest seed, but there's some very quick guys around, and Matt Ward of Mount Kelly in 3, Millfield swimmer Painter in 5.
Yeah, you've got the opportunity to come back. They're not juniors technically, they're not a senior swimmer, so they're that middle ground. So for them to come and have the opportunity to be targeting Paris, even though it's our next Olympics, is good to have them in the pool.
It's also a very interesting name in lane 7.
Green Bank, I wonder where that one comes from.
Well, his brother's a superstar backstroker, and if you talk to the coach at Cockermouth, you think that this young lad in lane 7, 1 lane from the top, Samuel Greenbank, could be even quicker. Priority Paris, 50 metres backstroke final. So 1 length of the pool backstroke, allowed 15 metres underwater. And the start, well, it's so important, and right at the top in lane number 8, a great start from Jack Sherry.
Yeah, use that 15 metres underwater to his advantage, maximise the full distance underwater.
So Jack Sherry right at the top there in that black hat. Coming back at him is Samuel Greenbank in 7. Oh, it's really close again, possibly down in lane number 2. Alexander Armstrong, really close. It was Armstrong, 25.90, 0.2 of a second ahead of Robbie Hemmings of Poole in lane number 4, the fastest seed. And that a really, really close race again. These 50s have been phenomenal.
Yeah, in the 50s, it almost doesn't matter kind of what lane you're in. Yeah, if you've got a lane in the 50s, you've definitely got a chance. And as we see there, the winner from one of the outside lanes. So you can't really discount anyone in the 50s because they are so close. Sort of 0.2 can split the whole field. And when that happens, you just need to be really on it. And these guys can win a medal from anywhere as such.
So Alexander Armstrong winning that priority Paris final from Surrey University, 25.90. Matt Ward second, Robbie Hemmings third. It was quick, it was close. And now the B final, the fastest 16 men. These 9 to 16. It's the B final of the men's 50 minutes backstroke, and there's some quick guys in here as well. Some guys you know pretty well as well, Amy.
Yeah, Craig McNally's kind of hoping here to qualify for his 4th Commonwealth Games, so he's been around even longer than I have. You've obviously got Mark Walton trying to qualify for the 50 backstroke for Scotland as well. Nick Pyle, obviously at University of Stirling as well, was a phenomenal junior swimmer. So yeah, for me, there's a few familiar faces in the water that I'll obviously be wanting to swim well. But those Scottish guys have got a posted time of 25.67 to qualify for the Commonwealth Games. So we'll keep an eye out for McNally and Walton.
So 25.67 is the time that they're looking for lanes 3 and 5. That's McNally and Walton. I think Nick Pyle, swimming for University of Stirling, is English. So
yeah.
Not sure that the English are selecting the 50s off this championship. I'll have to come back to you on that one. But the B final of the men's 50 metres backstroke, fastest seed, Scott Gibson of Edinburgh in the centre. Excuse me, Scott Gibson's in the A final. Cam Brooker of Bath National Centre is the fastest seed in 4. McNally in 3, Walton in 5, and Pyle in 6. So the two Scotsmen looking for 25.67. They're well capable of it. A very good start in 5. That really was good for Martin Walton, and that's how to start if you're going to attack this qualification time.
Yeah, he's really, really good underwater. He works on that a lot in training, so it's good to see that kind of coming out in the race.
And he's looking good as well. 5 and 6, both going very well. That's Martin Walton and Nicholas Pyle. 25.67 for the Scots is what they're looking for. Oh, and it could well be. Let's have a look at Martin Walton, 25.59. He's made it. Well done. And what has Craig McNally gone? 25.69. Oh, 2 100ths outside of that nomination time. It's not a direct qualification time. It is a nomination time, but it's still a very good swim, and they can be selected off that. But a really good swim from Walton.
Yeah, most definitely. Martin, as you could tell, was pretty happy with that. It's nice to see an athlete that has been around for such a long time, worked so hard, and finally kind of achieve a time that he needs to be considered for a Commonwealth Games. So McNally just outside that with 25.69. We know he's predominantly more of a 100 swimmer and 200 backstroke, so I'm sure he'll have plenty of chances the rest of the week.
Amy, 2 100ths. He was outside of that nomination time. That is tough. He can still be selected. I wouldn't be too surprised if they do, but that obviously is going to be up to the Scottish selectors as whether they decide to take Craig McNally. I mean, he's a very good 100 and 200 backstroke as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he goes on those.
Yeah, really good 200 backstroke swimmer. He's got such a nice technique. He seems to look nice and controlled for the first 100, and then classic Craig McNally as he really winds up. So that's not really long enough to do over a 50-metre event. So yeah, he's definitely more sort of swayed to the 100 and the 200.
Well, straight into the A final. And the swimmers being introduced from slowest to fastest. Jonathan Marshall coming out first from fast. In lane 1, Liam White from Swansea. And then there from Birmingham University, Oliver Morgan. And then we've got Sebastian Somerset in lane number 2, representing Loughborough University. But Scott Gibson's the fastest seed. Oh, well, he actually beat the Scottish qualification standard, and I think in the heats this morning, didn't he? Yeah,
so he's also Scottish, did the consideration time this morning. Obviously, his entry time into the final tonight is 25.38, so he was way under that this morning. So hopefully Martin will be joining Scott in that event. So it's nice to see some of the guys, especially getting those times in the morning. He's kind of now got the confidence that he could just enjoy tonight and hopefully be crowned British champion.
Scott Gibson, here he is, the fastest seed after the heats this morning, 25.38. And, well, the British record is the world record, still held by Liam Tancock, which was set back in 2009. Unbelievable, 24.0. Quite a race this. It's pretty wide open, this one, I think.
Yeah, we can't forget Joe Litchfield, obviously in lane 5 from the Loughborough National Centre. We mentioned this morning his phenomenal underwater work, so he's got 15 metres to maximise that and get himself up and in position for a good swim. So he looked really good this morning, so I think it'll be coming from one of those middle lanes tonight.
So versatile as well, isn't he, Joe Litchfield? He does absolutely everything. Great freestyler, very good backstroker. I think he's got his eyes on that lead-off leg of the men's medley relay, which is, well, it's an Olympic medalist, World Championship medalist relay, that. It's a very, very good one. I'm sure Luke Greenbank could have something to say about that.
Well, yeah, definitely, but you fancy being on that team if you can make it, even if you're only in a heat. It all counts.
So the final, the men's 50 metres backstroke, Scott Gibson of Edinburgh University, the fastest seed, and he's had a good start, but probably a slightly better start is Joe Litchfield, and you said, Amy, really good underwaters in that white hat in the centre.
Yeah, really good, even though he was sort of 0.2 up and the rest of the field are catching him, but he really maximised that at the beginning to get that advantage.
Well, he's still there with 5 metres to go, the white hat of Litchfield, but coming back is Gibson. Gibson and Litchfield in the centre. Oh my goodness me, it was close. Sebastian Somerset got the touch in lane 2 for Loughborough University. Whoa, that was close. Goodness me. Well, Scott Gibson again goes under that Scottish nomination time, 25.4, 25.45, and the Scottish consideration time is 25.67. So another 22 100ths of a second inside that consideration time. Good consistent backstroke sprinting.
Yeah, there was me saying that that race would probably come from the middle, and we had sort of one of our unknowns, as we call them, from the outside lanes coming through. Obviously used the last few years to be under the radar, come through, fantastic swim, perfect race plan, and he got his hand on the wall and won that with 25.30.
What very good swim indeed.
Well, Sebastian, I tell you what, by the way you breathe and you put everything into that swim, but you're British champion. Nice way to start your week.
Yeah, I mean, coming this week, just take it day by day, and you know, it's a great start.
Yeah.
Can't ask for a better one.
And I mean, you had all your teammates in cheering you on. You've got a great team here from Loughborough. How's everyone feeling as we sort of progress through the rest of the next couple of days?
I think morale's high. Everyone's happy to be here. Happy to have fans back. Happy COVID's relatively low, so it's always fun being on a team.
Well, I tell you what, it's awesome to have you guys back, and of course the fans as well. Congrats, you're British champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Sebastian Somerset.
Thank you.
Well done, lady. Awesome stuff.
Well, it was all about focusing on his touch there. He swam a really good swim to 35, but then he just put those afterburners on in that last 15 meters or so and got his finish absolutely spot on. Sebastian Somerset from Loughborough University. A very, very good swim to win the national title in the men's 50 meters backstroke. Next up, women's 200 meters freestyle. This is going to be fun. Really looking forward to the A final, actually, because there's some very quick women right in the center, and I do love the head-to-head between them.
Yeah, we've got Abby and we've got Freya sort of head-to-head, both Olympic finalists in their own right. Obviously, Freya, we know, winner of the gold medal in the mixed 4x1 from the heat, and Abby fourth in the 2IM. So both of them not necessarily favouring the 200 freestyles, you would say, but definitely a great event for them both, and it'd be good to see them sort of head-to-head. And we can't forget about Freya Colbert in that A final as well. She's definitely one to keep an eye out for.
Well, that's coming up in 4 races' time. The first of the 200 meters freestyle finals for women is the junior final. Well, the starters just checking to make sure that the starting system is working. Obviously having a couple of little glitches, but they've run the meet really well so far. It's been pretty much clockwork. So the junior final, right in the centre. Ashley Bailey of City of Sheffield. And I think there's a supporter right behind me. Go Ash, right in my ear. So 4 lengths of the pool, the junior final, the women's 200 meters freestyle, and a fabulous start in lane number 3. My goodness me, well, she was underwater quite a long time, but a really good start from Holly Widows of Mount Kelly.
Yeah, really nice start. As we spoke about this morning, getting into that sort of first length of 200 freestyle, using that easy speed is really important, and she's got a lovely stroke, really still head, so she looks really comfortable down the first length of this race.
Ashley Bailey turning first, Holly Widows in third, and the white hat of Mount Kelly. The red hat right in the centre is Ashley Bailey of City of Sheffield. And up there in lane number 6, Lucy Fox of Wickham and District. And Lucy Fox, Wickham and District team, a very good set of distance swimmers. They've got a really good distance programme, the Wickham guys.
Yeah, there's some really good swimmers there. We've got, so obviously Lucy's predominantly more of a 400 and 800 swimmer, as is Ashley Bailey, so we'd expect these two now to really push on in the third 50, to potentially break away from the rest of the field. They know they're stronger at the back end. They know this is almost a sprint for them if they're 800 freestylers. So yeah, those two in the middle with the red and white hat really kind of trying to pull the rest of the field with them.
Well, interesting, the swimmers in those yellow lanes in 4 and 5, very good 400 and 800 meters freestylers, but certainly working this third 50 very well indeed is Holly Widows of Mount Kelly. This is going to be interesting. A little bit slow into the turn, but very good underwater again.
Yeah, really nice turn. It's so important on that third 50 to build that momentum, and you don't want to lose that momentum around the wall. So to be able to carry that quick turn off there underwater, few kick into that stroke, and really power down the last length of the race.
Well, Holly Widows in lane number 3, swam a 206.3 in the heats this morning, and she looks really good. She's been chased all the way by Ashley Bailey, but it looks like it may well be. Let's get the touch here. So close. Oh, 202.8. Well, she's improved from a 206 to a 202. What a wonderful swim that was. Winning the junior final, Holly Widows, and from the start, Amy Wilmot, her start was just superb and all the way through. Really good start, great tactically, and brought it home.
Yeah, massive swim from her. Obviously, we said she was technically really good, so to come and knock 4 seconds off your entry time from this morning isn't an easy thing to do. So yeah, Holly Widows there, taking the crown in the junior final with a 2:02.89. Obviously, Ashley Bailey was close behind her, the time of 2:03.18. Both amazing swims from those girls.
Well, they really were, knocking 3 seconds off both of their entry times. Very, very good swimming indeed. Well, the juniors haven't been at a major championships in Britain for a good, 3 years now, really. And that's the way to come out of it. Really great commitment and some super swimming. Paris potential final. Swimmers age 2001, born 2001 and younger than that. And Emily Large is actually the oldest in the field. She's the only one born in 2001 from the Bath National Centre. Was the world junior champion on 200 metres butterfly. 200 fly, 200 free, goodness me. They're not really sprints, but they're not really distance events. They're sort of both. Oh, that's tough. What's the toughest event on the programme, real quick?
4 a.m.
I knew you'd say that. 4 a.m. It's actually quite hard to disagree with you, to be honest, but I will do in a minute. 200 fly. Priority Paris final, women's 200 freestyle. Emily Large, the fastest seed in lane number 4. Her time 2:04.7. Well, I wonder what she's going through her head, because she's just seen the junior final go 2 seconds faster than the qualification standard that she set this morning. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. You try not to look at the heat before you or the final before you, but you kind of can't really ignore what's happening and what's going on. So for her to see that, she'll hopefully be wanting to try and pip that. And 2:04 for her is not that far actually off her 200 metres butterfly time, so she'll be looking to hopefully knock that down. In lane 3, we've got Evelyn Davis as well, so she's a phenomenal freestyle swimmer. We saw her part of the senior gold relay at the Europeans last year, so she's had some great experience in the last 12 months, and she looks really, really controlled here. Got a lovely technique as we come into the 100-metre turn.
She really does, doesn't she? I mean, she's very smooth. And we were talking about easy speed in the heats this morning, and she does look like she's got a lot of it. Coming back pretty quickly in 2, those Betsy Wizard. Betsy Wizard in 2 from Northampton. And then in 3, it's Evelyn Davis of Bromley. And these two, well, Betsy Wizard, that's last 25 metres into the halfway turn. And then this first 25, she's really working it.
Yeah, the third 50 is kind of the one for me where you used to really break away and make that move. So she's going to her legs here a little bit early, hopefully trying to carry that momentum. So she'll probably look to get round this wall really quick and just use that on the last length of the race.
Well, she looks very fresh indeed. A little bit of a butterfly kick off the wall is good. Breathing straight off it. She can probably do an even quicker turn, but this is a good swim from Betsy Wizard in lane number 2 in the black hats. She looks very good indeed. Still going with her is Evelyn Davis, though.
Yeah, Emily Large is coming through really well as well, obviously using her strength in the 200 metres butterfly, so it's a really, really close race.
Well, Emily Large in the black hat in the centre there really is charging down this last 50. It does look like Betsy Wizard's going to hold on, and she does. A really good swim, 2:03.0. Well, that's interesting. A little bit slower than the junior final, and that was won in a really super time by Holly Widows from Mount Kelly. But another very good Priority Paris final. This is the women's 200 metres freestyle. And Betsy Wizard, well, swam to about 75. Interesting tactics, 75, and then just picked it up and just turned it on.
Yeah, she almost used Evelyn next to her to kind of latch on to swim with pace off her, and then really just thought, right, now's my time, I'm going to go. Obviously, both of those girls in the centre swimming faster than this one this morning, so it's really positive when you can come back in the final and post a quicker time than you did in the heat.
Well, speaking of exactly that, we've got some fascinating swimmers, and this is the B final of the women's 200 metres freestyle. And of course, don't forget that there's relay places up for grabs in the 200 metres freestyle, a 4x2. And with home nations at the Commonwealth Games, many of these swimmers could well be in the Commonwealth Games final of that women's 4x2.
Yeah, there's a lot of chances for the athletes, especially as we say in the events where there's potential for the athletes to qualify for a relay. So we've got Holly Hibbert in the mix in this race. You've got Lucy Hope, both amazing swimmers, and Jess Podgers, obviously fastest seed in lane 4.
What it really is for a B final, it's absolutely stacked. Lucy Hope, Jess Podger and Holly Hibbert. Goodness me. Well, Holly Hibbert's been in the World Championship final in the 400 and the 800 metres freestyle. Lucy Hope was at the Olympics in the British women's 4x100 free relay. Also mention Erin Little of Mount Kelly down or up in lane number 7. Fastest junior for the European juniors. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes. And the white hat up there of Mount Kelly, and she's gone off very fast indeed. This will be interesting if she can hold on. Easy speed, is that?
Yeah, she looks really. She's hoping probably to qualify for the European Junior, so she's got to set a time as well as finishing really well in the B final. So for some of our girls in particular, they'll be thinking about what the time on the clock is, not necessarily where they finish in those races. Especially the junior girls who are fighting for a time and a place to be considered for the European Junior Championships.
Well, two swimmers splitting under 28 seconds for the first 50, but going very, very fast indeed down this first 100. Well, this is Lucy Hope, the 100 metres specialist, so I suppose we'd sort of expect her to go out quickly, but if she can hold on, this looks very impressive indeed. 57.5 at the turn.
Yeah, really good from her. I think, as we see, she's a predominantly freestyle swimmer. She's Scottish record holder, and she did that last year at the Europeans in the lead-off of the 4x1. So she still looks really good here, and if she can keep this up, then she'll hopefully be back near her best time, and that's where she'll want to be, regardless of A or B finals.
And now Jess Podger trying to track her down. Lucy Hope still leading, but Jess Podger in the first of those yellow lanes, the centre lanes, lane 4. And 50 metres to go in this B final, the women's 200 metres freestyle. Lucy Hope first to turn, and second was Jess Podger, but she's having a crack here, Podger.
Yeah, down the last end of this race, you're just really giving it everything. So Lucy looks really good here still. She's gone to her legs. She's hopefully trying to break away a bit more from the rest of the field, and if she kind of keeps this up into the wall, she should be on for a sub-2, and she should be pretty happy with that.
Well, it's looking good. She's definitely tiring. Podger is chasing her, but get your head down and outside that last 5. Very good discipline indeed. 1:59.7, well done. Under 2 minutes for 200 metres freestyle is really good. And Lucy Hope, University of Stirling, wins the B final. Impressive swim.
Yeah, it's quicker than her swim this morning. Probably not as quick as she would have liked it to be. A little bit off her personal best time. But as I say, some of these swimmers coming off the back of the Olympics, they might be a little bit rusty, had a little bit of a longer break. And Lucy's also moved from the University of Edinburgh to the University of Stirling. So, yeah, that transition isn't always easy to work with a new coach. She's now training with sort of Duncan Scott and Stephen Tigg, so they've got a great group of swimmers there, and she's probably just finding her feet a little bit, but she'll be happy with that to break 2 minutes.
Well, that was a very committed swim, 1:59.7. Podger tried to come back, but Lucy Hope just had a little bit too much for her. Gemma Hall third, Erin Little 2:172, a really good swim from her in fourth. So we now come to the A final, and look at that British record, 1:55.54, set by Jo Jackson back in 2009. Goodness me.
Yeah, some of our British records are long-standing, just shows the quality of swimmers we've had in the past. The quality of swimmers we've got now are winning Olympic medals, so the transition from that over the last sort of 10 to 12 years is phenomenal. And as you say, the last summer we had our most successful team, and our female 200 freestyle swimmers are really kind of coming back, and we've got Freya and Abby in this race.
Well, we do. We just saw Kate Clifton of the city of Sheffield. Their supporters all around us. She's in 8 and 1 is Mia Slevin of Deventio. And then the second city of Sheffield swimmer, Candice Hall, goes in lane number 7. Well, if the volume of the supporters around us is anything to go by, those two young ladies are going to swim super quick. Meddy Harris, well, she's in the 200 free final, but her backstroke has been an absolute phenomenon this year.
Yeah, she's definitely one to watch tomorrow as we come into that race, but it's nice to see athletes not always focusing on just one event, sort of diversifying, swimming a multitude of events, and Abby Wood does that really well.
Well, next to Mady Harris is Tamron Van Zelm of Millfield. She's in lane 3. And then Freya Anderson won Olympic gold medal in that mixed medley relay. Swam the freestyle leg in the heats. And then watched the final swimmers shake the gold medal in the world record. And then Abby Wood in the centre. Well, she's had a tough year. She's had glandular fever. Hopefully now she's over that and through that and back in. She swam pretty well in Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago, so it looks like she's back on track, but this will be an interesting test for her.
Yeah, it's not easy to come off the back of illness or injury and sort of having glandular fever. It's not exactly a small bout of illness either, so to see her here and to see her being competitive in her events is really, really nice to see.
It's so interesting to see the pace that she's taking her kit off. She's waiting right till the end.
Yeah, you're the last one out. You don't want to be rushed. You want to take that time to give yourself time to get ready, and being the last one sometimes means everybody else has to wait.
So 2 black hats, 2 black suits. They'll be in lanes 4 and 5. Closer to us is Abby Wood, and on the right-hand side is the statuesque figure of Freya Anderson, 6'2", wonderful swimmer, great freestyler. And also interesting that Freya Anderson has added the 400 metres to the 100 and the 200. Another super start from Abby Wood. You stopped the race right there. What, she won by about 0.3?
Yeah, fantastic start. Obviously, she uses those underwaters really well. Why not when you're one of the best, probably, underwater swimmers we've got in the female swimming in Great Britain. So, yeah, she maximised them to her advantage, uses that momentum to gain that easy speed down the first 50, and she looks really comfortable here.
So Kate Clifton going out very fast indeed up there in lane number 8 for City of Sheffield. City of Sheffield swimmers in 7 and 8, but I expect the race really to be right in the centre in those yellow lanes. The higher of those two is Freya Anderson, and then the closer to us is Abby Wood. Tamron Van Zelm in the green hats, also going pretty well at the moment, but it looks like at the moment it's Wood, and possibly first to turn is going to be Freya Anderson.
Yeah, Abby gets a touch there, 57.73, so she's just out ahead. But yeah, this is on the back end of the race. We saw Freya Colbert in particular, who's the top of Freya. She really moved it on this morning, and the legs are starting to go from all of them. They're really starting to pick up the pace, so it's obviously not, they're not taking it easy. They're really trying to break from the rest of the field and post as quick a time as they can. Fascinating
Tactics as well, Amy. They really could see that water boiling at the back end on their feet, and with 50 to go, well, it is going to be really interesting to see who's come back and who's got the wonderful turn again. Look at that turn from Abby Wood.
Yeah, really good underwater skills, especially under pressure on the last length of a race. It's where you want to use your advantages to kind of pip your opponents. Obviously, Freya's coming back really well now, so it's getting close towards the finish.
Well, Abby Wood was 4th in the 200 medley at the Olympics and 7th on the 200 breaststroke. This is the 200 metres freestyle, and it's very close indeed. Abby Wood closer to us. The long arms of Freya Anderson. Did she get it? No, she didn't, by 2/100ths of a second. Oh, my word, that was so close. 1:57.61 wins it. That's Abby Wood. Freya Anderson, 1:57.63. 2/100 splitting those two, and they just keep on having these fantastic head-to-heads.
Yeah, it's what you want to see in British swimming. You want competition, you want that really kind of competitive racing, and Freya Colbert, we can't really forget about her. She finished in 3rd there, slightly further behind, we say, by 0.3, but that's another massive PB for her, lifetime best. Coming into this event, we said she's only broke 2 minutes once a few weeks ago in Edinburgh, so to post a 1:57.9 against Abby and Freya, you can't really ask for much more. It's really good swim.
So Abby Wood wins it, Freya Anderson 2nd, Freya Colbert 3rd, all 1:57. So look at that from Mady Harris, the backstroke at 1:59.4. What can she go on that 100 metres backstroke very shortly? A great race, that 203.
Well, Abby, I just said I never really see you race at 2-3, so you don't want to again, but you know what, you're British champion. That was a cracking race.
Yeah, I always love racing. Freya, she really pushes me, and she's such a successful athlete, so I know if I stick with her, she'll bring out the best in me. So yeah, I'm really happy with that.
And I mean, you had an amazing last Olympic cycle, obviously. Tokyo 2020 was an incredible one for you, being part of that team. What was that experience like?
I think it was definitely a confidence builder. Like doing a competition at that scale was obviously very scary for a first Olympics, but I feel like I've definitely grown and excited more for international competitions in the future because I know it won't be that scary again, hopefully.
Or when you've done the biggest one in the world, you know, you can only go up from there. It was amazing to watch you do that. Moving forward, what's next on your mind as we head into the next season?
Next season?
This season.
One at a time. Just building throughout each competition, obviously with Commonwealth Games and Worlds in one, hopefully bouncing from one to the next with the rest of the team. I think it's a lot of good racing experience, so hopefully I'll get more confident as I go on.
Well, I can't wait to see what you do. I think it's going to be exciting. Congratulations, British champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Abby Wood.
Thank you very much.
Well, I do love listening to Abby, and she really does swim an awful lot of events. And well, if the ISL, the International Swimming League, is anything to go by, she swims better and better as the meet goes on.
Yeah, we might have seen her in the women's 4IM a little bit later on. Obviously, she's amazing at that event too, but with her illness and probably focusing on one event, she's probably picked the 200 freestyle, and I definitely don't blame her. So she swam really well there. She'll obviously learn a lot from the ISL in the last couple of years, swimming numerous events back to back, really kind of building that stamina and endurance. And short course is a brilliant opportunity to hone in those skills and those underwater turns. So you have 3 in a women's 200 freestyle long course, you have 7 short course, so it almost feels like it's got to be easier by the time you get to the last length long course, and she really, really uses that to her advantage, and you can tell she's been working on it, and everything about her race was reflective of the work she's done over the last sort of 2 years to really sharpen those skills.
Well, technically brilliant, and she's not particularly tall, but my goodness me, she does it so well, really fit. The coach Dave Hemming's done a super job with her, and I would not be surprised if she starts winning major championship medals all over the place, including Paris. So the first final of the men's 400 metres freestyle, it's the junior final. And the fastest seed is in lane number 4, Andrew Bertoli of the city of Leicester. I have to say, I'm fascinated to see how Luke McGee goes in lane number 6, because not too long ago, about 4 weeks ago, his lifetime best was 4:10, and he went 4:03 at the English schools. And then this morning swam all on his own in his heat and went 4:05. And we were talking there, Amy, about whether if he could get in a race where he's with other swimmers, I wonder how quickly he can go.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to have swimmers around you, so you're not that you rely on other swimmers for pacing, but you think, oh, am I a bit too far ahead? Should I maybe hold back a bit? And yeah, we can see all swimmers here quite evenly spread across the field. So yeah, he was in lane 0 this morning, sort of totally out there on his own. So it'd be good to see him tonight, hopefully, in the mix, and see if his pacing improves a little bit and whether he can finish as strong as he started this morning.
Well, he's turned in second place. He's got the black hat up in there, lane number 6, next to that green hat. So the black hat of Luke McGee, the green hat of Joshua Weston of Wickham District. Another one of their really good distance program. And a little bit cagey down this first 150 metres. They're all sort of looking at each other.
Yeah, they're kind of probably looking across the pool, working out who's going to make the first move, when they're going to make that. And they all look like really long freestyle strokes. You don't kind of see anyone in there that's potentially over-egging it too early. So it looks like they are playing a bit more of a tactical swim right up until the end of the race, when hopefully after this first 200 we'll probably see the pack split a little bit.
So the halfway turn coming up in this first final of the 400 metres freestyle. It's the junior final, then we have the priority Paris, then we have the B final for the seniors, and then the A. And first to turn is Andrew Bertoli, 2 minutes, .2. Well, if they're going to go sub 4 minutes, I would like to see them get close, but if they're going to do that, they're going to have to negative split it.
Yeah, negative splitting is sometimes a nicer way to swim a 400 freestyle. I think not
Really?
everybody would swim it that way, but I used to love kind of having that energy down the back end of the race.
Not
It's not what you want, but
not everyone can swim it like that, Amy.
no, it's good to practice those really strong back ends of the race. Obviously, we've seen everyone go out a little bit slower than they maybe did this morning. Potentially part of that is because they're watching the other athletes around them and not really sticking to their own race plan. So we may see a few athletes on the last length realise they've got too much energy left and really kind of use the legs and pull away, but we're starting to see that a little bit now.
Well, Andrew Bertoli of City of Leicester still looking good, but they really are lining up next to him. In lane 4, Bertoli, I think, is going to turn first. Yes, he does just. Second is Rhys Grady of Stockport Metro. And third, up in lane 7, is Josh Weston, and he's still there, but looking very good and now starting to go to his feet. Always a good sign, that, for me. Look at the energy in those feet.
Yeah, it's a really nice leg kick there behind him. It's what you want. You want that drive at the back end when your arms are getting slightly tired. You've been 300 metres probably using a lot of upper body strength, so to have the ability to really just kick in and turn those legs on when you need them is a massive skill in itself, and Andrew's really using that to his advantage now.
I mean, he does look like he's got an awful lot left. Do you reckon? I wonder if he's gone a little bit too late. I mean, he could have gone maybe earlier. He looks really good.
Yeah, it looks like he was potentially playing a little bit of cat and mouse, wanting to be first in that swim, maybe mispacing his own race because he was focusing on what's going on around him. But yeah, he looks like he could probably turn and do another 50.
Well, these swimmers can certainly make the European Youth Championships. This is a trial for that. And the time's just going to be outside of 4 minutes. 4:01.82, the winner, Andrew Bertoli of the City of Leicester. Second was Rhys Grady of Stockport Metro. And third, Joe Cooper of Team Ipswich. Impressive swim, though. It was pretty even pace as well.
Yeah, he's really, really happy with that. I think the guys went out around 2 minutes of him to go out that quick and finish on a 4:01. It's quite promising. So it's faster than his entry time this morning. Really, really good swim from him.
So Andrew Bertoli wins in 4:01.82, just outside the consideration time for the European Juniors. Second was Rhys Grady. Third, Joe Cooper, and Josh Weston hung on well in fourth. And Luke McGee, well, not so long ago, lifetime best 4:10. He's gone 4:04 again. Very good swimming. So Priority Paris. Men's 400 metres freestyle final. And again, there's quite a few swimmers in here who can make the European junior team. Team Sheffield, I'm sure you can hear them. Amy's blasted against the wall with the, with the noise.
Yeah, you know where Team Sheffield is at.
Yeah, I said about, what, maybe 1.5 meters from Amy Wilmot. But, well, welcome to the fun and games of the commentary box, Amy.
No, it's nice to see people in the stands cheering for their teammates. It's what you want. You're stood behind the block, and when it's nothing worse than when it's quiet and the atmosphere is a little bit flat. So to see teams getting behind their teammates and really geeing them on to swim well is nice to see. And as I say, we haven't had that for a few years.
Well, we certainly haven't, and it is fabulous to see, and they are very enthusiastic. Two Sheffield swimmers in this Priority Paris final. They go in lanes 2. It's Ruben Vizda, and then 4 Ben Cope. So 8 lengths of the pool. The Priority Paris final of the men's 400 metres freestyle. Lovely start closer to us in lane number 1 from Harry Wynne-Jones of the City of Milton Keynes.
Yeah, really nice start from him. And a lot of these boys have actually got really nice technique, really controlled, really long, especially Ruben in lane 2. His stroke for me is really pretty. It's nice. It doesn't look like he's wasting a lot of energy. And over a 400-metre event, that's what you want. You don't want to be fighting the water. You want to be nice and controlled. You want to be using that easy speed that we keep talking about. Really kind of settling into the swim so you can push on when you need your legs or that change of gear towards the end of the race.
Well, to qualify for European Juniors, you have to be born in the year 2004 or later. And there are 3 swimmers in this race in lanes 1, 6 and 7. And at the moment, lane number 7 is leading, and he looks very good indeed. Right up the top there, Samuel Tucker of Wickham District. And the qualification standard for that junior team on this 400 metres freestyle.
3:55.03, so it's pretty quick. It's not an easy time for those guys to be achieving. If they can break 4 minutes in this final, it gives themselves a good chance, hopefully, to get as close to that as possible. So, yeah, it's definitely not an easy time, that consideration time to be nominated for a World or a European Juniors.
So Thomas Treblecock of Plymouth looking good in lane number 3 now. And it's really starting to work. And he looks like he's starting to wind it up. And this is the halfway turn. That silver cap of Plymouth Leander in lane number 3. Quite a rangy lollopy stroke.
Yeah, slightly unconventional. As I said, it doesn't look as comfortable as some of the swimmers around him, but yeah, he's certainly thinking about pushing this race on, taking the boys out, and if they're going to be up there with him, the rest of the field have got to go with him now. They can't afford to kind of hang too far back.
Well, it's certainly time to go, and often in the 400 metres freestyle, race tactics are get to the 100 as fast and as comfortable as you can, and then turn up the gas. And, well, there's a marked difference between the leg kicks of most of those swimmers down the 50 metres going into the 200 metres turn, and this going into the 300 metres turn coming up.
Yeah, Jack Munsey there has had a really nice split. He's kind of put himself back in the pack. He turned 3rd there, but he looks nice and controlled. So if he can go to his legs, I think, like he did this morning, he was putting himself in a good position to be up there in 1-2.
So with 100 metres to go in the Priority Paris final of the men's 400 metres freestyle. In lane number 3, it's Thomas Treblecock of Plymouth Leander, and he still looks very good. And if he can come back in 60 seconds or quicker, he's going to go sub 4 minutes, which will be really impressive. But they're starting to come back at him now. They're really starting to wind up with 75 to go. Yeah,
the field's getting a lot closer behind him. Everyone's kind of gone to their legs. They're really catching him up. So hopefully he can hang on this last 50 metres and he hasn't burnt too much, as we say at the beginning of the race. But yeah, he still looks really good here. He's still just about hanging on.
Well, I think the volume's just about to get pretty loud, because the two City of Sheffield swimmers turning in 2nd and 3rd, the two red hats either side of the leader, and yeah. Thomas Treblecock's holding on at the moment.
Yeah, just about. The Sheffield swimmer's looking at him. He's trying to think, what can I do to dig in to really make sure that I get my hand on the wall first? And it's getting very, very noisy and very close.
Well, it's a super race it is. The silver hat of the Plymouth Leander swimmer, Thomas Treblecock, but it's super close. Oh, my goodness. Well, he's a big chap, is Thomas, in lane number 3. And he used all of that stretch to win that Priority Paris final of the men's 400 metres freestyle. A really great race it was. Ben Cope came back really well. He had so much left. He caught up, well, must have been 1.5 meters from that last 100. I think he can go quicker, you know, if he goes a little bit earlier, a little bit braver, a little bit earlier. But both of them sub 4 minutes, great swimming.
Yeah, fantastic swim of Thomas Treblecock there. 3:58.45. Ben Cope was just behind him, 3:58.61, and then Isaac Dodds was in 3rd, 4:01.09.
So 2 more men's 400 metres freestyle finals to go. This the B final. And there's some quick guys in here. And again, qualification for the European Juniors is possible from these finals. And we've got 3 swimmers in lanes 2, 6. Here is lane 6, Tyler Melbourne Smith. And 2, 6 and 8, George Smith of Leamington can also do it. Set a lifetime best to qualify in 4:01.42. And 2 more City of Sheffield swimmers.
Yeah, to swim a PB in the morning at a British Championship is a really kind of nice achievement. So to come into the final, set yourself up in the B final, outside lane, almost nothing to lose. Hopefully these guys will put up a good fight.
Let's go, Sheffield!
So Nathan Hughes in 1, Matthew Woodall in 2, George Barber in 3, William Riley of Bath in 4, Gordon Mason of Guildford in 5, swims at Arizona State University where Michael Phelps currently resides, and Bob Bowman's the coach. 6 is Tyler Melbourne Smith from City of Liverpool, Joseph Denon of Swansea in 7, George Smith of Leamington in 8. the B final of the men's 400 meters freestyle. And, well, saying Gordon Mason in lane number 5, swimmers at Arizona State. He's actually an open water swimmer and was training at Santa Monica in California. He was training with Jordan Wilimowski, who's world champion in the open water swimming, a fantastic guy. They train in the public pool. It's really interesting. They train at the UCLA pool, and Santa Monica has lanes 6, 7, and 8. And I was in lane 5. Now, I'm a little older than those guys now. I'm 57, I don't mind saying. And I just saw this guy absolutely blast past, and then somebody else right on his feet. Jordan Wilimowski was the first guy, and the second guy was Gordon Mason. Gordon in 5. They're looking pretty comfortable right in the center, that black hat right in the center with the ASU on it, the Arizona State University Sun Devil. But first to turn, William Riley, 56.2. Well, he set his stall out early. Has he gone too early?
Yeah, hopefully he can keep this pace up. It looks slightly more difficult than you would like to see this early on. It's got a slightly different technique. I think it reminds me a little bit of David Davis, which we kind of pointed out this morning. But if he can keep it up and he just keeps ticking over, then he's on for a really good swim.
Well, David Davis wasn't a bad swimmer, you know.
Yeah, he's the Welsh record holder still with 3:45.24. Set that in 2009, so another long-standing record from that era of swimmers that we had through British swimming in Great Britain.
There's a great guy. Feisty little chap. Distance freestylers tend to be so. But this is really pretty impressive so far. Interesting first 200. Didn't expect it to be pushed quite this quick. 1:55.2. Well, that is fast, and going with him is Gordon Mason in the black hat of Guildford, and this could be a really interesting race, this one.
Yeah, a lot faster than we just saw in the heat before.
So the qualification standard for the European Juniors, we'll be watching out for that. It's 3:55.03, and there are 3 swimmers who can do it. Matthew Wardall in 2, Tyler Melbourne Smith of City Liverpool in 6, and George Smith of Leamington in 8. And certainly in 6, he's swimming very well indeed.
Yeah, really good swimming here. We thought in the centre lane it might tie up a little bit, but he still looks really strong. He's controlling the race, and he's kind of saying to everyone, come on, hurry up. If you want to swim quick, come with me. And he's definitely winding up now into the 300-metre mark.
Well, this is impressive. He went out. Ooh.
Double breathe.
Yes. What does that say? Tired. That's a shame, because he just lost a little bit of momentum going into that turn. Breathed to his right, and then a real cheeky little one to the left, and that was a shame. But now chasing him is Gordon Mason. This will be interesting to see how this last 100 is.
Yeah, it's always tough at the end of the race when you're the person behind and you know you've got that momentum and you're catching. To hang out in front when you're potentially tiring is really tough to do. So I imagine this last length will be pretty sort of good to the go for Gordon Mason, who's just still turned in second. So the legs are going. These guys are probably really working down the last end of this race, as we already saw. Blowing, it's really difficult on the lungs of 400 freestyle, so it is a physically demanding event, and these two are really kind of working really hard towards the wall.
Well, no doubt about the winner in this, the B final of the men's 400 freestyle. It's William Riley. Looks really good from Bath University, 3:53.95. Second was Gordon Mason, 3:55.4. And Tyler Melbourne Smith of the City of Liverpool finishes in a 3:56.4, just 1.3 seconds outside of that nomination time for the European junior team.
Yeah, lots of boys in that race dropped a big chunk of time. 3:53.95 is a pretty quick swim. We only saw 3:53 from some of the guys in the A final this morning. So really, really good swimming from Will there.
So Will Riley wins the B final of the men's 400 metres freestyle. The open water swimmer, Gordon Mason, second, 3:55.4, and Tyler Melbourne Smith of City Liverpool, third. Those 3 guys all under 3:57. So the big final. And Amy, this really interesting, really interesting. Dan Jervis fastest seed, but there's some quick guys around him. William Bell's next to him in 5. Kieran Bird lifetime best of 3:46.0. What an Olympic trial he swam.
Yeah, last year was a fantastic year for him. He kind of flew under the radar a little bit, went to the Olympic trials, threw down an amazing time, and everyone was kind of like, whoa, Kieran Bird, who's that? So it's nice when swimmers can do that. We might see a couple more this week of those swimmers that are using the fact that some of the guys have had a year of downtime to really kind of come through and stamp a time.
Speaking of downtime, there we just saw Hector Pardo of Loughborough University, and here is Tobias Robinson. Hector Pardo swam in the Olympics in the open water, got an elbow in the eye, and I have to say, the most horrific injury I've ever seen in swimming. Normally it's a sore shoulder or earache, which I have to say does hurt, but he actually thought his eye had come out. It was just horrific. The Australian elbowed him in the eye. It was and he had to stop. I mean, it was just brutal looking.
It's a shame when something like that happens and you get knocked out of your Olympic final. We've obviously got Hector and then we've got Toby, both open water swimmers in the outside of this race. A little bit short for them.
Well, it is, but it'll be interesting to see how they go. Here is Kieran Bird, won the Olympic trial, a brilliant swim, 3:46.0, a 5-second lifetime best it was when he won that Olympic trial last year. Here's Luke Turley from the Bath National Centre. So swims 400, 800, probably 1500 his best event. And in 5 we've got William Bell. Well, I think Commonwealth Games for him could be a really exciting race. He's obviously got to make the team, but I think he could do really well there if he can really step it up here.
Yeah, obviously Dan Jervis is Welsh, so a few of these competitors swimming as different home nations at the Commonwealth Games, but for Dan and I'm sure Kieran and some of the guys in the middle, they'll be looking to achieve that world consideration time. So that time is 3:46.34. Slightly off where they were this morning, so they've got to drop a big chunk of time to get near that. But I think even if this race isn't super quick, it'll definitely be really competitive. So definitely really excited to see how this one unfolds.
Well, it's going to be hard to call, I have to say. Dan Jervis, well, he's an absolutely outstanding 1500 metres freestyle, a 5th at the Olympics in that 1500, and such a beautiful stroke, the Welshman. But Kieran Bird, I think he's declared for Wales, hasn't he, Kieran Bird? I think so.
Yes, I think he is.
So Welshman in 4 and 6. Stephen Milne of Scotland in lane 2. This is the A final, the big final. Fastest 8 men in Britain on the 400 metres freestyle. And the fastest seed is in lane 4. Dan Jervis of Swansea University. Green hat on the left-hand side. So 8 lengths of the pool, the final, the A final of this men's 400 metres freestyle. And you just saw on the blocks in lane number 5, the cupping that we talked about in the heats this morning. You can see it still in lane 5, the higher of those 2 yellow lanes. Look at the back. You can see all those red splodges. It doesn't look comfortable, I've got to say, but you said it actually helps a little bit, Amy.
Yeah, if you're particularly tight through training and volume and load, sort of a cupping mark, as you call it, just brings the blood to the surface in a specific area and can help sort of ease the tension. So some athletes will have it a lot and some athletes will never use it. So it's just personal preference, really.
Well, he's in lane 5 in this, the final of the men's 400 metres freestyle. And that is William Bell going off pretty quickly, the green hat though of Dan Jervis. And interesting to see him swim it like this, because this is not really how he swims his 1500 freestyles. He's a little bit more measured down the first 300 or 400 metres, and then when he gets to about 800 or 900, then really starts picking it up. Remember in the Commonwealth Games, I think it was in Glasgow, he just swam the most awesome race. He was miles behind and then just started turning it up about 750, 800 metres and caught up. I think he got a bronze medal, but I mean, he was charging.
Yeah, Dan's a really, really strong finisher. He's got a really good leg kick, and in a 1500, he pretty much kicks his legs most of the time, so he's using that in the 400 here. He looked really comfortable this morning, and I suppose he knows if he's going to get anywhere near that world consideration time of 3:46, he's got to put in a big shift, and he's got to lead this race from the front.
Well, it's a very tough consideration time, it really is. But Dan Jervis gone out really well. Let's see what this split time is, because this looks quick. It is quick. 1:51.8. Well, if he can hold on from that, he could go really fast.
Yeah, let's hope he's kind of pulled Luke out with him, so between them, hopefully they'll push each other to the finish. And yeah, if they can kind of keep up this pace, they'll have a really good chance of getting close to that consideration time, which is ultimately what they want. Dan's been pre-selected for the World, but only in the 1500-meter event, so he'll be looking to post a time here that's as quick or as close to that consideration as possible, and he still looks really, really strong.
Well, he does look strong, and Luke Turley's tracking him one lane closer to us, and he's looked really good all the way through. He's let Jervis do the work, and he's right on that lane line. He's watching him all the way, and also going well up in lane number 6 is Kieran Bird of Bath National Centre, and he's got a great kick at the Olympic trials. His last 50 was phenomenal.
Yeah, we definitely can't discount Kieran, even though he's a couple of metres behind. His last 100 metres at the Olympic trials was amazing. So when you want it, you'll put in that shift, and sometimes you find something that you didn't realise that you had. So all of these swimmers now have gone really big to the legs. You see the bow wave coming off the back of Dan Jervis. It's really, really strong. Luke Turley's moved over to try and use some of that water that Dan's creating to jump on that wave a little bit. So both of these boys are still looking really, really good here into the last 50.
So there is 50 metres to go in this final, the men's 400 metres freestyle, and Dan Jervis looks really, really good. He's swimming away now, and now, well, I think I'd like Luke Turley to move away from that lane line, because if he's not careful, he's going to start getting waves. But Dan Jervis, all about the time here, 3:46.34. Can he do that? He's already pre-selected for the 1500 metres freestyle for the World Championships. Can he add the 4? He's really pushing. 3:46.34. He's really close. Oh my goodness me. Oh, he's 1/10 of a second outside the nomination time. 3:46.44, and the consideration time is 3:46.34. Oh my. Well, he's pre-selected for the 1500. You've got to be a very, very, very brave selector not to stick him in the 400 freestyle off the back of that. That was awesome.
Yeah, really, really good swim, and the smile on his face says it all. He really enjoyed that one, and Dan's such a lovely athlete. I've been on many teams with him in the past, and it's really nice to see him enjoying himself. Yeah, he's always really chatty, and the 400 for him, he does think it's a bit of a sprint, but he's in great shape, and if that's anything to go by, 1500s later on in the week, it'll probably be just as good.
His heart rate looks like it's back down to about 100. My goodness me. Well, Olympic rings emblazoned on the side of his chest. Brilliant 5th place in the final in Tokyo on that 1500 metres freestyle. Every time I see him swim, I would love to see him go quicker. A brilliant swim, though, brilliant.
Yeah, he's really, really nice.
Well, Dan, I tell you what, awesome to see you. And the smile, I think, says it all. I know it's not your favourite race, but British champion.
You know what?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really happy with that swimmer there. You know, we've the team in Swansea Performance Centre. We've trained really hard this year, as every other year. But I think, as well as training harder than ever, we've also trained smarter than ever this year. And I got a fantastic team. You know, and yeah, we're in for a good week. We are not here to mess around this week.
I can't wait to see what you do. We've got your main events coming up. I know you were out of the water for a couple of weeks. How's the body feeling as we sort of head towards those longer events?
I'm really looking forward to it. Can you imagine I was sat here being like, oh my God, I don't know where I was going to go. No, but I think it's going to go really well. That was really good, you know. I just wanted to get in and race. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. And you know what's really nice as well? There's people here to watch it as well. Like, this is the first time my mum and dad have seen me since COVID, and it's great to see them up there, actually. So,
Dan. Oh, it's making me emotional. Now, I know you're a very, very proud Welshman. I love that about you. We've got a home soil Commie Games coming up. You must be buzzing about it.
I am absolutely buzzing about it. You know, the Commonwealth Games obviously has a special place in my heart. Obviously representing Great Britain last year in the Olympic Games. I mean, if you can't get inspired by the stuff that we saw out there, nothing will inspire you. And, you know, I cannot wait to this summer. I was excited, obviously, for Glasgow and Gold Coast, but Birmingham's going to be really fun.
It is, and I can't wait to see what you do there, mate. It's going to be amazing.
Diolch yn fawr, thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's British champion. He's going to have an amazing week, I can feel it. Give it up for Daniel Jervis!
Thank you very much.
I just love listening to that guy. He's absolutely full of beans. Whatever he's on, I want some, because he's just such a lovely bloke, but he's always so positive. But some fantastic quotes, Amy.
Yeah, you wouldn't think he'd just swam a 400 metres freestyle and then sat in the chair. He says he's not here to mess around, and he's absolutely buzzing, and he totally should be after that swim. Really nice to see him swimming well. Obviously commenting on the stance, his family, and to do a PB in that race as well by 1 second is a nice time to do it.
Well, it was a great swim, and I was just saying before that interview, every single time I see him swim, he finishes it so fast. I just want him to try and go a little bit earlier. And I think every time somebody puts it to him, he goes, I was going as fast as I can, which I have no doubt. But, Amy, have a word, will you?
It's because he's technically so good, and it looks easy to us, but you know under the water he's getting hold of that water. He's really pressing and pulling, so he's working hard.
So the medal ceremony for the women's 50 metres breaststroke. Cara Hanlon taking the bronze. And, well, it was a very fast race in the end. Really surprised, very surprised indeed just how quick it was. And I thought for a moment we might see a sub 30-second 100 metres breaststroke. Doesn't she look happy? Well done, well done.
Yeah, really nice to see some smiles on their face. So we've got the reigning Commonwealth champion there, Sarah Vasey, picking up the silver. She'll be hoping this summer to defend that title on the Gold Coast, and she's reselected.
Well, this was really impressive, really, really impressive. Imogen Clark winning gold in the women's 50 metres breaststroke at this British Championships for 2022. It's not a selection event for the World Championships or the Europeans, but with a swim like that, it's going to be hard not to choose each of those women actually for the Commonwealth Games team.
Yeah, representing different nations. It'll be great to see, obviously, Imogen, her fastest time in 4 years, 0.04 of her British record. So it's nice to see athletes come back down to form, and especially as they get a little bit older, it gets harder to get near your personal best. Remember, it was 7 years for me before I even got back on 4:33 points. So yeah, it's really nice to see that these swimmers are still digging in, and they've gone through the last 4 years and are now producing fast swims again.
I'm going to ask you about that in a second, because you seem to have a little bit of a lull, as you said, but then you started producing these times that were just awesome. And they kept on getting faster and faster, and I was just going, 2028, she could win it.
I don't think so. But no, it is hard when you have a standout swim.
But so you did, though. You did get quicker, didn't you? You got quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, I swam really well in 2014. My personal best from then fell off the boil and then sort of came back a little bit. So yeah, it's nice to see athletes when they can do that and dig in and fight for 7 years to do that.
Well, it was wonderful to see, and it was wonderful to commentate on here. The men's 50 metres backstroke medalists. Liam White gets the bronze from Swansea University. The silver goes to Scott Gibson in a time that I think will stick him on the Commonwealth Games team for that 50 backstroke. And the winner, your British national champion in the men's 50 backstroke, Sebastian Somerset of Loughborough University, 25.30. And again, wouldn't be too surprised to see all of those guys at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, Sebastian's a classic example of some of those athletes that we thought might break through here, names that we've not really seen before in the programme and come away now as British champion.
Well, it was a super swim, and it was a wide open race. So the 250 metres, the women's breaststrokers medal ceremony's just gone. That men's 50 metres backstroke medal ceremony. And now the women's 200 metres freestyle. Freya Anderson just gone through the shot, and there in the centre. She's never short of a word, is she, Abby Wood? Look at that. Well, the height difference amazing, and you wouldn't expect the lady in the middle to have the best start to come up first, would you? But she's superb on the underwaters, technically brilliant.
Yeah, when you're not the biggest swimmer in the race, the biggest swimmer in the pool, sorry, you know you have to be really technically tight. So yeah, for Abby to be so sharp on those skills is good. And obviously Freya picked up the bronze there in a massive PB. Freya Anderson takes the silver from Bath National Centre, coached by David McNulty. really close between all three of these girls. Obviously, Freya only missed out on the gold by 0.02 of a second.
Well, the new protocols, a little bit sad, really. The president can't pick up the medal and put it around the neck of the British champion. They've got to do it themselves, but I guess it's not the worst thing to happen in the world, is it? Some great swimming. And those three women, well, if we can get that women's 4x200 meters freestyle relay together, that could be pretty quick.
Yeah, you want to be the fourth person in that team, don't you? You want to be part of that medal-winning, hopefully medal-winning team after the success of Europeans at this summer's game.
Well, we've still got the women's 400 medley, and then we've got the big event of the session. No disrespect to the women's 400 medley, but we've got the men's 100 meters breaststroke final with Adam Peaty in it, the world record holder, one of the greatest swimmers I've ever seen, if not the greatest swimmer. But first of all, we've got the women's 400 individual medley finals, 4 finals of that, and then 4 finals of the men's 100 meters breaststroke with Adam Peaty, and then of course James Wilby, Ross Murdoch. It's a stacked field.
Yeah, we just have so many good male breaststroke swimmers in this country, so to see the 3 of them that have been, between them, European champions, Commonwealth champion, Olympic medalists, there's a lot of success going on in that pool at one time, and yeah, to get in there and race is fantastic. So you see the girls there enjoying being in the core room, getting ready for the women's 400 individual medley. And first up, we've got our junior finalists.
Well, the junior final is loaded with athletes born in 2005 and 2006. And such a great idea, 4 finals of each event every evening. So with 8 lanes of the pool used, in actual fact 9 in the men's 50 meters backstroke because of that tie for 8th place. So 32 swimmers generally in every event get to come back in the evening. It gives so many people a great chance to swim. And a swimmer have a second swim. And with that, Amy, it gives you such a huge amount of action to target, I suppose, isn't it, for your morning swim? I mean, if you can do really well in the morning, if you can get out of bed and sort it out, you've got a super chance of making it through the finals.
Yeah, definitely. 4 opportunities is really good, and what British Swimming have done gives a lot of athletes a chance to do that. So it kind of means that you've got to have a little bit more focus in the morning if you want to make it back, because there's more chance for you to do that and be in one of the 4 finals.
And Chris Spice and Bill Finesse responsible for that. And, well, they presided over an incredible period of British swimming. The success has been just wonderful, the most successful Olympics in history we had in Tokyo. The junior final, the women's 400 medley, the fastest seed is in lane 4, Annabelle Wilkinson of the city of Sheffield. In 5, Lydia Kingsland of Nova Centurion, and in 3, Evangeline Belt of Plymouth Leander.
Yeah, Annabelle's already kind of leading the way. Lovely butterfly. I think this morning she was out quite strong as well, so she's using that to her advantage again tonight in this junior final. But lane 2's also gone with her. Chloe Harris. 30.3 for a junior swimmer, opening leg of a 400 medley, definitely not slow. So these girls are using their ability to swim butterfly, to swim it fast, and sort of create a little bit of distance between them and the girls that are following. But 400 IM is a long event. There's 4 different strokes. The leader can change a lot of the time, and in world swimming quite often, or shall I say every now and again, the medal winner comes from one of those 5th, 6th, 7th place turners at the 100 meter butterfly mile.
It's quite interesting that as well, isn't it? Because you're absolutely right. It's not the butterfly swimmer, it seems to be the breaststroker who can finish. They seem to be the guys that get to the top of the podium.
Yeah, the athletes that save their energy, maximise their sort of the energy in the breaststroke leg, split themselves from the rest of the field, seem to be the athletes, especially in medley swimming, that really push on and split the field. so that it's almost like they're hanging on in the freestyle, or they're good technical freestylers and they get even more of a gain and a further advantage. So it can be sort of cat and mouse for a lot of this race, and I'm sure there'll be a breaststroker that we see come through in the next sort of 100 metres of this race, no doubt.
Well, this is how the heats went, and Annabelle Wilkinson very good on the fly in the back. I think a slightly weaker breaststroke leg, and a little bit ragged on the backstroke. That's that left arm going in quite close to the centre line, but she's done well. She's holding on well. And this is the halfway turn in this first final of the women's 400 medley, the junior final. And first to turn will be Annabelle Wilkinson of the city of Sheffield. Second is Chloe Harris of Wolverhampton. And third is Edja Ko of Deventio.
Yeah, Chloe Harris looks already like she's got a lovely breaststroke technique. She's squeezing her heels together. She's gliding at the front of the stroke. Her rate isn't too high, which is what you want in a breaststroke split in a 400 medley.
Well, maybe I've done her a disservice. This breaststroke looks pretty good here.
Yeah, she's definitely hanging on.
Yeah. This is impressive. I have to say, I was very jealous of breaststroke swimmers on medley because I was so bad at it. I could be miles ahead after the fly in the back, and I was miles behind after the breaststroke leg. And then, well, I worked super hard on the freestyle leg. But your 400 medley, I mean, I'll never forget it. That one in Australia at the Gold Coast to win the Commonwealth Games gold medal was just superb. And at this stage now, this stage of the race, so you've done 100 fly, you've done 100 back, you've done 75 metres of breaststroke. What are you thinking? You starting to think of the freestyle already?
Yeah, it really starts to hurt. Round about now, you're kind of praying that you can keep the build and keep the momentum. In medley swimming, it's really important to use the sort of the exchange from butterfly to backstroke to carry pace, backstroke to breaststroke, and breaststroke to freestyle. You don't want to be fading into the wall and then having to start from scratch almost each stroke. You want to use those transitions to your advantage to carry that speed in and around the wall from one stroke to the next. So down that length, you really want to be thinking about building the breaststroke so that this first then freestyle is as comfortable as it can be, because it does take 10, 20 metres to settle in. More for the fact that you're hurting, you're thinking about, yes, it's the last 100 metres, come on, you're nearly there, but it definitely doesn't make it a quick 100 metres freestyle, especially after you've done 300 before. But Annabelle's having a really, really, really good swim here. She still looks really strong, definitely a lot stronger than we saw her at the back end this morning. So this looks like it'll be a massive PB for her.
Well, it is very impressive. She got out there on the butterfly, hung on the backstroke. Her breaststroke was much better than I remember it being this morning. And then the freestyle, well, she's holding on. A big charge in lane number 5 coming through from Livia Kingsland, the Nova Centurion swimmer. But my goodness me, it's about a 7 or 8 metre lead now for Annabelle Wilkinson of the city of Sheffield. A very impressive swim, under 5 minutes, yes, 4:56.86. And that is 8 seconds faster than the time that she qualified with this morning.
Yeah, really, really nice one for her, and for her to be in the junior final. She was only just shy of the junior consideration time, so if that's anything to go by, we may have a couple of junior swimmers that get that time, but she's really happy with that. She looks super chuffed, and as she should be. Even at the end of a 400 IM, if you can still smile, you know you've had put in a good shift.
Well, she certainly did, but it's impressive the way she went about it as well. Not just the time, but just the whole approach to it. It was really impressive for Annabelle Wilkinson of City of Sheffield. Winning it, the only swimmer under 5 minutes, 4:56.86, just 3 seconds outside the consideration time for European juniors. Livia Kingsland second, and Chloe Harris third. So the Paris potential final, the second of 4 finals in this women's 400 medley. And there's a swimmer, Phoebe Cooper, in lane number 5, born in 2008.
14 years old. Makes both of us feel very old in the commentary booth.
Wow, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. In lane number 6, she is, excuse me, in lane number 5, she is Phoebe Cooper, City of Sheffield. And she swam a good swim in the heats this morning. 4.5 seconds lifetime best.
She'll be looking for another 4.5 seconds tonight, I'd imagine. You'd be very, very happy with that. But
interestingly, Amy, the fastest 60 swimmers went in the morning heats in this medley, and then they had, I think it was another 4 heats in the afternoon of the slower heats. She's actually qualified for this final from the slower heats, from the afternoon session, not in the top 60 this morning.
yeah, really good to see that. I think those swimmers in the middle heats, not time to get forgotten about, but she's really maximised the opportunity to post a time. She's probably seen the times that the faster girls did this morning and thought, well, if I can achieve this time, I've got a really good chance of coming back tonight and being in the mix and being in a final. So she's had less rest than the others. Obviously, her heat went in at sort of 12:30, 1 o'clock. So it's a really quick turnaround to be doing 400 individual medleys, especially swimming at lunchtime and then this evening.
She's going for it as well. Look at that. She's in the top of those 2 yellow lanes with the red hat of City of Sheffield. She's a super fly swimmer. And as you say, she's not had an awful lot of rest, but I guess at age 14, you really don't necessarily know what's going on. And, well, she's looking superb here.
Yeah, you don't often need massive amounts of rest when you're that age. I remember you swimming back-to-back events, 200 free, 200 back, 400 IM, 400 free, having a really busy weekend over a 2-day competition. So she's probably used to doing that. She's a medley swimmer. She'll diversify, swim lots of different events. So yeah, it's probably, even though it's difficult if you're slightly older at that age, it's just another sort of training exercise for her. And she's just swimming really well here.
Well, given her age at 14 years of age, she's able to qualify for the European Youth Olympic event as well as the European Juniors. So she can go to either of those 2 meets that are being selected from this championship. And the qualifying time for the juniors in this women's 400 medley is, well, it's pretty quick. It's 4:53.5, and the time that she went this morning was, well, 10 seconds faster than that. It's a little bit of an ask to go another 10 seconds faster when you went already 4.5, but I haven't counted out.
Yeah, the European junior times are a little bit faster. The European Youth Olympics, she might be in with a great chance for. They're taking 8 boys and 8 girls to that event, and that was my first junior international event. Really enjoyed it. Won gold in the 400 medley there, and the 200 medley, silver in the 400 free, and a bronze in the 200 backstroke. So the experience you get from that international competition at such a young age is so invaluable. So fingers crossed she can post another good time here, and she's in consideration for puts herself in consideration, for that event in front of the selectors.
Well, this is a really impressive swim from the 14-year-old Phoebe Cooper of the City of Sheffield. She's in lane 5 with the red hat. And 1 lane closer to us in the black hat is Daisy Anderson of Sevenoaks. And none of these swimmers went under 5 minutes in the heats this morning or this afternoon. So it'd be very interesting to see if they can crack that. They've started well.
Yeah, as we said, that 5-minute barrier is quite a big one in 400 medley swimming. As soon as you get under that, it's quite nice to think, oh, I've done it. And especially if you're 14, 15 and you're getting near that, is really, really impressive. So these girls will be looking to improve on what they did this morning, and fingers crossed they can just sneak under that 5-minute mark.
Looking around a little bit as well, the leader there. Not necessarily a good idea, and she's looking around because Phoebe Cooper's actually coming back at her. Daisy Anderson leading at the moment, but starting to get overtaken by Phoebe Cooper, the 14-year-old in lane number 5.
Yeah, both quite strong breaststrokes here. Obviously, we see 2 slightly different techniques, but it'll almost be a battle of the freestyle. Who's saved their energy a little bit more, who's technically got more in the bag, who's stronger at the last 100 meters. So, yeah, between these 2 girls here, it'd be nice to see them battle and push each other all the way to the finish to get the best out of them really on the scoreboard.
Well, this is a really interesting head-to-head, and the red hat of Phoebe Cooper has not had that much rest. She swam the heats this afternoon. She was meant to be in the slower heats. The faster heats were this morning. The fastest 60 swimmers were this morning. She was not ranked in one of those, and she's starting to swim away. This is really impressive.
Yeah, she's tired. You can see there just breathing a couple of times into the turn, but she's giving it a good go. Her legs are going now. She's fighting down this last sort of 50 meters of this 400 individual medley, and at this point, it really hurts. Everything in your body is screaming, ow, where's the wall? So for her to kind of really do two of these quite close together is pretty impressive, even at 14 years old.
Well, the red hat on the left-hand side there, the red hats of Phoebe Cooper, the 14-year-old. She can go to the European Youth Olympic Games, and she's doing really well. Look at the time. It's way under 5 minutes. That is just incredible. Absolutely extraordinary. 4 minutes, 54.23. She's ended up just 0.7 of a second outside the consideration time for the World and European Junior Championships. That's phenomenal.
Really good swim from her. We thought she may have struggled to knock off another 4 or 5 seconds, but she's done it. She's took 9 seconds off what she had in her entry time, so no wonder she looks a little bit tired there, but I'm sure she's pretty chuffed with that as well.
God, I'd be over the moon. I mean, just, it looks like it's hurt, doesn't it? It really does, but what an amazing swim that was. 4.5 second PB this morning. She's just knocked another 9 seconds off. Phoebe Cooper, the 14-year-old, wins the Priority Paris final, and I wonder whether we're going to be saying that again and looking back on that Priority Paris in 2 years' time. Great swim, 4:54 for 400 medley, really good. Wow. Cooper wins it, Daisy Anderson second. So the B final of the women's 400 medley now. 2 more finals to go, the B and then the big guns in the A final. And Amelia Moynihan, the fastest seed of the city of Sheffield, goes in lane number 4. Actually, the fastest on paper is Michaela Glenister on lane number 8 for University of Stirling.
Yeah, Michaela's been sort of really quick. She was a really good junior swimmer a couple of years ago, just before COVID, and then moved up to the University of Stirling. So yeah, on paper, Michaela's one of the stronger swimmers in this event, but Evie Dilly is kind of one to keep an eye out for from the borough of Stockton. She's got a big program, swims a lot of different events. She'll be technically very good on the backstroke leg, so we'll just keep a little eye out on her.
Yes, and at age 16, she's also very much in the frame for European junior consideration. And, well, I wonder what she's going to be thinking, because she will not have expected someone 2 years younger than her go a time of 4:54 in that previous junior final, or the Paris Priority final. So the B final, the women's 400 medley, the fastest seed is Amelia Moynihan of the city of Sheffield. She goes in lane number 4. And Evie Dilly of the borough of Stockton, Amy's pick, is in lane number 6. Amy's pick, is that a little strong?
No, that's all right. Evie Dilly used to swim at Middlesbrough Swimming Club, which is why I know the name. So she's recently moved to the borough of Stockton. It's nice to see someone from your, well, home club when you were younger, kind of following, not in your footsteps, but swim the same event, be really competitive. So yeah, keep a little eye on her and the backstroke leg in particular.
Well, she's looking good at the moment. She is in lane number 6. She's got that silver hat up there, 3 from the top. But very strong down this first 100 metres. In lane number 2 is Elsa MacDonald of Edinburgh University. And she looks really good. A comfortable first 100 for many of these swimmers down this first 100 metres. So tough to start off with a 100 fly, but then straight into the 100 metres backstroke. Let's see how far underwater. Is that a real lung buster coming off the fly to the back, or is that an easier turn?
No, it's probably one of the toughest ones. I think you're coming into the wall on the fly, hopefully breathing every 2, trying to keep nice and controlled, and then all of a sudden you have to flip onto your back and really hold your breath to even sort of get past 5 or 6 metres. So that is probably, for me, was one of the toughest turns. I tended to stick my chin quite far down as well, so then you break streamline because you're trying to think of any way to stop that air escaping. So technically, if you can stay nice and flat and use that underwater off the fly, it does give you a massive advantage in terms of setting yourself up to be nice and controlled on the backstroke.
Amy, a lot of swimmers we're starting to see now, particularly Americans, are starting to use nose clips to control the exhalation of air out of the nose. Did you ever consider doing that?
I think if I was predominantly a backstroke swimmer, I reckon that probably would have helped me, because as soon as I get on my back, I used to just blow straight out my nose. I couldn't really hold it. So to do 5 or 6 meters was okay, but to work 10 meters off the wall was a bit of a struggle. So Evie's kind of done me proud here. She's come through on the backstroke leg.
Well, Evie second to turn, Evie Dilley in lane number 6. Holly McGill first to turn in 7. The heart of Midlothian swimmer. Two real youngsters, 17-year-old leading, 16-year-old second. And Evie Dilley well placed now, that silver hat. She's got a lovely breaststroke. And the qualification standard for this World and European Junior Championships is not out here. 4 minutes 53.5 is the time they're looking for. But the middle lane's starting to charge as well now.
Yeah, really using the breaststroke to wind up. We always see this in medley swimming as the leaders at the beginning, and 200-meter mark, it changes massively. So these two girls in the center of the pool really using that breaststroke to their advantage. But Evie and Holly to split under sort of 220 in the first 200 of a 400 medley is really, really strong. So all of these girls are hanging on even, really looking to get as close to those times that we've had in the heats before, from the younger swimmers in particular.
Well, the middle lane's really starting to charge now in 4 and 5. That's Amelia Monahan and Frances Newer of Birmingham University, and their breaststrokes really powerful, and it's made such a difference. And again, the breaststroke legs sorting out the field in this women's 400 medley.
Yeah, Amelia's got a lovely technique there. It looks like it hasn't cost her too much, but you see she was probably a few meters behind Evie, and now she's taken sort of 5 meters out of her there. And if you can do that on the breaststroke, the transition breaststroke into freestyle, you can get an extra meter or so because of the speed difference of the breaststroke into the freestyle. So it's just a really important leg of the race, and both of these girls have used that breaststroke to their advantage and now kind of fighting down the last 100 meters of the freestyle.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Amy Wilmot against Hannah Miley. It really does. I mean, this is a great head-to-head, isn't it? That first 25 meters of this final 100 meters freestyle from Frances there, a little bit controlled, and now she's really started moving, and well, she looks really, really strong. This is a great final 100 meters.
Yeah, but all 3 of these girls here have gone to their legs using everything they've got left. Obviously, 400 medley is very physically demanding across your whole body. You use all your muscles, doing all 4 strokes. So, yeah, really, really tough for these girls.
Well, we're looking very closely at the time because this could be really, really close for the European Junior qualification for lane 6. Evie Dilley has got close to it. Oh, 4:55.08. Just outside, 1.5 seconds outside of the qualification consideration time for the European Junior team for the 16-year-old Evie Dilley of Borough of Stockton. Well, you did call it, and she came back really well.
Yeah, we've had 3 really fast juniors, from each one winning or being sort of up there in those 3 heats. So it's good to see that, especially in 400 medley swimming. Me and Hannah have now retired. There's potentially a gap for somebody new to come through in the next few years and become the next medley swimmer for Great Britain. So it's good to see that the talent from the youngsters is really hopeful with some of those really quick times. So Frances New finished first there in 4:52.67. Amelia was second in 4:53.5. And then we had Evie Dilley third in 4:55.0.
Well, very, very good finals from the women's medley. Some pretty big shocks as well. The Priority Paris final won in a really quick time from the 14-year-old. And then that women's B final. Here are the A finalists coming out for this women's 400 medley. So Yvonne Brown first out, the slowest seed from Aberdeen Performance, then Beatrice Varley of Plymouth Leander. And Leah Schlossen, she can qualify for the European Junior Championships, and I think she's got a cracking chance. Her heat this morning was underneath that qualification time, consideration time. It's not necessarily automatic, it is a consideration time, but if she can do that, there's 2 swimmers in here, 2 swimmers born in 2005, in 7, Leah Schlossen, and in lane number 2, Lara Thompson.
Yeah, really good to see these junior girls in the last heat. It's what you want. You want to be really competitive. You want to be swimming with the best swimmers that Great Britain has at the current time. So I think Leah Schlossen should be out quite well. Both from the City of Leeds, so probably train head-to-head on a daily basis, so it'll be good to see which one of those is stronger at what different stroke and whether they can really help each other in training.
Well, interesting that two swimmers of the same age qualify for the same big final in this 400 medley. And both of them can qualify, both from City Leeds can qualify for the European Junior Championships. Amber Keegan, the fastest seed. She goes in lane number 4 from the city of Sheffield. Her qualification time 4:48.0. And I wonder if she can drag the other swimmers through to a quick time, because if she can, that would be wonderful. Did you used to prefer to swim next to a teammate if you had the opportunity? Here, the two lead swimmers have been split by 4 swimmers. Would you prefer to be next to your teammate or split from your teammate?
It has its pros and cons. If you know what the person next to you is going to swim like, sometimes you're paying too much attention. If you're on your own, you can just swim your own race plan. So it almost depends what your focus is for that specific race.
The big final, the A final of the women's 400 medley. Amber Keegan, City of Sheffield, fastest seed in 4. And the two 17-year-olds, Laura Thompson and Leah Schlossen, in lanes 2 and 7. The two yellow hats of the City of Leeds. But a quick start in lane number 5. That's Katie Shanahan, who we haven't really talked about so far. And, well, she had a super year last year. And the City of Glasgow swimmer, if she can put something big in here, that would be great to see.
Yeah, it'd be really good to see her come through today. I think she's had a little bit of illness, probably not the best preparation coming into this, and 400 medley is not one that you can swim technically well with a compromised prep. So she's always quite strong in the butterfly. She's a really, really good, technically smooth backstroke swimmer. Breaststrokes as well, she's quite tidy. So she's a technically good all-round swimmer, which is perfect for 400 individual medley. And obviously we've got Freya Colbert in here in lane 3, bronze medalist from the 200 freestyle in that British Open final. So she'll definitely be one to keep an eye on for the last 100 metres of the race.
So 100 metres down, oh, big glide in there from lane number 5. Katie Shanahan didn't quite spot the turn as well as she could do, but that blue hat, good butterfly leg. And now into the backstroke. And Shanahan of Glasgow looking strong, but my goodness me, look at that. Lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6 right with her.
Yeah, Katie's got, as I said, a lovely backstroke technique. For her, the expenditure on this is very low, which means she can use that on the breaststroke and the freestyle at the end of the race. If we look at Amber in the middle, she's got a slightly higher stroke rate, so it almost just depends how these girls can use that. But Freya's had a really good turn there, really good first length of the backstroke. She's maximised that underwater work, and she also looks really comfortable. So, yeah, it's going to be quite a close race, I imagine, this to right towards the end.
Well, a European junior champion on the 200 and 400 IM is Katie Shanahan, and in lane 5, that blue hat. But a really good backstroke leg from Freya Colbert, the freestyle specialist in lane number 3. And Colbert's going to turn first at the halfway mark of this final, the A final of the women's 400 medley. Oh, a big crossover turn as well.
Yeah, very quick split there, 2:15.3. So she's got a lovely turn. Really nice to see her out fast. That's quite a fast split for a 400 medley. So yeah, hopefully she can keep this up and it'll be a nice PB.
What would you split at the halfway mark on the 400 medley normally?
Between 2:12 and 2:16, depending on the way I was approaching the race, what sort of was working for me at that specific point. Sometimes if I was not feeling too fit, I would technically, I'd ease off the gas at the beginning of the race and save a little bit more for the end. And the flip side to that, I've gone out really quick and then held on. So it has its pros and cons doing either way. But Freya looks really nice here. Lovely breaststroke technique. Nice pull-outs underwater.
Well, 3, 4, 5 and 6 certainly in it, but no doubt about the leader, Freya Colbert. She's got a super freestyle, and what a double she's had to do. She's had to do the 200 freestyle final and then come back, and she looks awesome on this breaststroke. Like, look at the flow.
Yeah, it's not an easy double, definitely not, and she'll have the confidence now going into this this last turn, knowing she's stronger than all the other girls in the freestyle leg, and she's going to use that to her advantage. But in the black hat on the top, also Beatrice has had a really good breaststroke leg, and she's come through to put herself in the mix. So yeah, these 4 girls have really used that to their advantage.
So Lily Booker's second to turn, but the freestyle specialist, Freya Colbert, in that green hat, representing Nova Centurion, looking very good indeed. And she's going to her legs, and look at the bubble, look at the power, the boiling action of those fantastic kick on this freestyle, but she's not dropping the other swimmers, you know?
No, she has got a lovely technique there. She's just in that rhythm, in that groove, breathing every two, nice and stretched at the front of her stroke.
So first over with 50 metres to go. It's Freya Colbert, second Booker, third Shanahan, fourth Keegan. But it's going to be really tight, probably for the silver and bronze. But look at Shanahan come back in the blue hat.
Yeah, really good swim here. I think Freya's on, hopefully, for as close to a 440. We've got the other girls over the other side digging in, trying to come back. So really powerful finish from these girls.
So 10 metres to go in this final of the women's 400 medley. Freya Colbert really is charging down this last 5. What time can she do? Can she go under 40? Just outside 440. 4:41.27, but a really good swim from her from lane number 3. And what a double, a 200 metres freestyle, 400 IM double in this session. And look at her smile. Wow, great stuff.
Yeah,
very
really
impressive. Sorry, Amy.
No, she should be really chuffed with that. And just imagine if she hadn't done the 200 freestyle before, how much more she might have had in the tank. So really good swim from her. Really strong, paced it really well, took it out from the beginning, maximised all 4 strokes, was technically quite tidy, which is what you want in 400 individual medley swimming.
So the results of the A final of the women's 400 AM, Freya Colbert, a really good swim, 4:41.27. Booker second for Loughborough National Centre. Shanahan third. And Keegan fourth. Look at that. Schlossen fifth from the City of Leeds. And both of those City of Leeds swimmers well under the consideration time for the juniors. Brilliant swimming.
Now, Freya, it has been a busy night for you. Bronze medal in the 200, backing it up with British champion in the 4 IM. You're tired, but you got to be happy.
Very happy, yeah. I had a difficult season last year, but swam very well leading up to this meet, so I've been very excited. Looking forward to carrying the momentum through the week as we go on. I've got a few more events coming, so hopefully that'll be good as well.
I'm sure, you know, well, if this is anything to go by, I'm sure we're in for a treat. Now, the 4 IM, a lot of athletes think this is the hardest race to swim. A lot of strategy goes into it. Was that your race plan going out leading, you know, that whole way and just holding on?
I mean, because I'm a freestyle specialist, it's just sort of like maxing each one and hoping that I've got enough at the end. It was very difficult at the end, but because I do so much freestyle training, I feel like I'm quite able to handle it. But yeah, my breaststroke isn't that good, so I want it to be ahead. Not really sure what the race plan is other than that.
Well, I tell you what, it looks strong from where I was sitting. I don't know what your coach will say. Don't give your secrets away. So you've got a busy week coming up. What are we looking forward to as we move into the week?
So I've got a couple of days off. 100 free is a little sprint warm-up event for the 400 on Saturday. Really looking forward to the 400 freestyle. So watch out for me.
Well, watch out. We will be. We certainly will be. Look, congratulations. You've earned a rest. Go and eat something, get some sleep. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Your new British champion. Give it up for Freya Colbert.
Thank you.
Freya Colbert, what a great approach to life. And with a pretty tough, a really tough double, 200 free, 400 medley, but an attitude like that, what can she do for the rest of the meet?
Yeah, she's really obviously happy with that. And as she said, she's been training really well before. She's been racing really well. And when you've got that confidence of knowing you're in a good position, you know when you come into both of these swims back to back that you can back both of them up and do really well.
Well, here's the ready room for the final of the men's 100 breaststroke. And look at the top in the middle. Oh, my word. Mr. Petey prowling around. Took it very seriously this morning in the heats. I thought he might be a little bit more relaxed, but he looked ready to eat all the villagers, I have to say.
Yeah, he'll still want to come here and swim really well. He doesn't want to come here and post a time that's not probably the world's best. He's so used to being the best in the world that's what he wants to post. It's what he wants to achieve, and he is such a phenomenal breaststroker. He is a sort of a force to be reckoned with. So he's not going to want to come here and just kind of swim okay, even without a rest and with the best preparation. He'll still want to post a relatively quick time.
Well, it must be just fantastic for these guys to be in the same final session in the same event this the first final. It's the junior final of the men's 100 meters breaststroke, the same event as Adam Peaty, but it's not just Adam. It's James Wilby, Olympic finalist. It's Ross Murdoch, who's also been in a World Championship final. In fact, I think Ross might have withdrawn from the, let me just check, from the A final. I think he has. So this is the first final. It is the junior final of the men's 100 meters breaststroke. The fastest seed is Rafi Dobson of City of Milton Keynes in lane number 4, but a really good start. Closest to us, Amy, in lane number 1 is Ronnie Hallett of Mount Kelly.
Yeah, he had a really nice underwater there. He was quick off the block. He was nice and powerful.
Also going well up there in lane 7 is Carnell Nunes-Smith of Orion. And, well, a really quick first 50 from him. Can he hold on? It's not easy. He's really worked down this first a little bit tied into that first stroke coming off the turn.
Yeah, big breath off the wall there. Sometimes athletes can underestimate the sort of capacity that you need in oxygen under the water. They'll hold their breath and come to the surface and almost gasp for air. So you want to try and nail that, really.
Well, he was good around the wall, very good to 50 metres and good around the wall. That first stroke maybe he can improve, but he's still looking good up there in 7. Also coming through in 6 is Davis of Swansea Aquatics. Lane 2's got the touch, I think, though. Ollie Jones of Poole. Wow, what a swim. What a swim that was. Came back right at the very end. So, first to finish, it looked like it was it Davis of Swansea? I think it was. I think it was Davis of Swansea touched the wall first. Just checking to see whether there's been any disqualifications. We saw a vast number of disqualifications at the World Short Course Championships from breaststroke. It really was amazing.
Yeah, there we have.
So lane 8 was disqualified. Alexander Casey of City of Leicester. That's a shame, but no doubt about the winner, though, by 1/100th of a second. Oh, that's closer than I thought it was. Davis of Swansea wins it. And second from Poole, Ollie Jones. There he is, look. He doesn't mess about, does he? He's not rested.
He looks ready to go. He's, as I say, in the zone. Looks quite calm and comfortable, but he knows he means business. And the cheeky little smile there tells you that he's not going to sort of want to swim and mess around, as you say. So yeah, he wants to put on a good show. He wants to sort of impress everyone that's probably here and hanging around to watch him in the last event of the day.
Well, I've got to say, he massively impressed me on Strictly, because not too long ago he couldn't skip. He couldn't skip down the road. He wasn't coordinated enough. And then, I mean, those snake hips in Strictly, I've got to tell you, I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, to be fair, he even surprised me. I've seen Adam on the dance floor a few times and did not think he had that in the locker at all. So to see him there and really sort of enjoy himself more than I thought he would, it was good to see. And it's nice to see swimmers get the opportunity to be in sort of the public eye and kind of brag about our sport and big us up a little bit. So yeah, it had many bonuses other than the fact we got to get to see Adam dance.
Well, ringing endorsement for your summary there. Very, very good indeed he was. I thought he was to put yourself out to dance on national television when you're not necessarily as coordinated at the start of the process. But by the end he was. I was really impressed. He worked so hard. So the first final gone, the men's junior final of this 100 metres breaststroke here, the priority Paris final. And Harvey Freeman, the fastest seed in lane number 4. So only 6 swimmers in this, the priority Paris final. And the fastest seed is Harvey Freeman from Northampton, right in the centre. Possibly the best start coming from lane number 3. That was Callum Melville of Nova Centurion.
Yeah, all the boys here really close. Got a couple of juniors in the mix. Got Callum and Oscar, so lanes 3 and 5.
So they can make the time, the consideration time, which is on this 100 metres breaststroke, It's 102.86. It's very fast indeed, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think having some of the world's best breaststrokers in this country definitely kind of make the expectation for our breaststroke swimmers that little bit more difficult. So 62.8 is definitely not a slow time to post.
Well, swimming really well up in down in lane number 2 at the moment. William Ellington of University of Stirling. Oh, just missed the finish. It was Oscar Bilbao in the end of City of Hereford, 163.21, or just, what, 31 hundredths of a second outside of the consideration time for the European juniors. But that's a very good swim indeed.
Yeah, very good swim. He looked like he controlled that quite well. Obviously, he had a good finish to get his hands on the wall first. And yeah, he's improved from his swim this morning. So you can't really ask for much more.
Well, 0.6 of a second he's improved from this morning. So that was very good indeed. Oscar Bilbao winning the Priority Paris final of this men's 100 metres breaststroke. And there is Adam Peaty. Well, the call room is at the turn end of this pool. So there's one more heat still to come, one more final still to come. That's the B final before Adam swims. But he puts his goggles on really early.
Yeah, I think he just likes to block everybody else out and get himself in the zone. And he's got his goggles on, his hat's on, he's ready to go. He's kind of in that zone. You see different people do different things. Some people, like Ben Proud, for instance, will put his hat and goggles on at the very last minute. So just personal preference.
So the B final of the men's 100 metres breaststroke. And Charlie Joe Hallett of Plymouth in 1. Pravin Mendapurma of Bromley in 2, Woodburn in 3, Longfield 4, Matt Rogers of Bromley in 5, Ross Young of Edinburgh in 6, Rodri Williams from the City of Liverpool in 7, and then Cam Williams of Dartmoor Darts in 8. 2 swimmers can make the European junior team here. Elliot Woodburn in 3 has got a cracking chance from a lifetime best this morning to go 62.84 inside the consideration time by 2 100ths. And there's another swimmer in this who can do it too. In lane 8, right at the top of the picture. That's Cameron Williams of Dartmoor.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on both of these swimmers.
So Woodburn in 3. He can make the European juniors, as can Cam Williams in 8. This the B final of the men's 100 metres breaststroke, and a really good start in 4 from David Bloomfield of Loughborough University.
Yeah, there's no technical distance to be disqualified for in breaststroke. You can go as far as you can underwater with that breakout, and some of those athletes there were really pushing the 15-metre mark, so it's really good to see them using that underwater phase.
And Elliot Woodburn, the junior, well, he's gone for it, 28.4, and he can do it again. He went 62.84, 2 100ths inside the consideration time this morning for the European junior team, and he's going well in the white hat. But having a crack back at him in lane number 5 now is David Bloomfield of Loughborough University. He had the best start, so it's 4 and 3. It's the black hat in 4 of David Bloomfield, and in 3 it's Elliot Woodburn. Elliot Woodburn's last 25 has been really good. Is he inside the qualification time? 61.9. Well, the consideration time 62.86. 62.8. He's just gone 61.98. Amy Wilmot, what happened there?
Yeah, he's liking that one. He threw that time down, and he's actually a year younger, so in theory he could swim at the European Juniors again next year, top of the age group. So to see him post a time that's almost a second under that and be slightly younger than some of the other swims is really, really, really good to see.
And the second junior, Cam Williams, just outside the consideration time. In fact, exactly the same time as he swam in the heats this morning. And just half a second outside the consideration for that European juniors. But what a swim. And that last 25 metres from Elliot Woodburn. Well, let's get straight into this final of this first night at the British Championships for 2022, because we've got in lane number 4 the world record holder, unbeaten since 2014, 16 times European champion, 3 times Olympic champion, the only British man ever to successfully defend an Olympic title. It is Adam Peaty.
It's just a name that you remember now, I think, forever in swimming, and in particular, the strength he has in breaststroke swimming.
But in the heats this morning, I have to say, he didn't have it his own way. I mean, he was good in his own heat, but only a couple of tenths behind him was James Wilby. And James Wilby, of course, Olympic finalist on the 100, I think under 200 as well. Certainly 3 medals at the Commonwealth Games in each of the 50, the 1 and the 2. And it'd be interesting to see how James does here, because he is quick.
Yeah, they're both such good racers, and they race together so often that they know each other's strengths, they know each other's weaknesses, and James is always just behind Adam, so to see him get close and really push him is exciting to see. And James kind of uses that and uses Adam as a little bit of a benchmark, because he is the best swimmer in the world.
Well, Archie Goodburn from Edinburgh also had a very good heat this morning, 60.7, but there were 2 guys under 60 seconds. And there is Archie Goodburn coming out right now. He is from Edinburgh University, and he's the 3rd fastest seed for this final at 60.7. But 2 guys sub 60. The first of them is James Wilby from the Loughborough National Centre. He goes in lane number 5. A little bit of a grimace there. But what can you say about this guy, Adam Peaty? Here he is. Well, he's not rested. He's only just started back in the water, really. He's such a beast, physical specimen. But how he does the breaststroke, he's changed the way breaststroke swimming is, isn't he?
Yeah, a lot of swimmers now are trying to emulate him, and not some do it really well, and some that don't have that strength and ability to hold the water can't really pull it off. So Adam's got really narrow kick, he's really strong upper body. Obviously physically, he is a lot larger than some of the other swimmers in the race, so he knows he's got that physical advantage before he's even dived in, and he uses that to his strength, and really sort of almost tweaks his technical stroke to fit his physique.
Well, his coach Mel Marsh has done such a good job with him. Also interesting, there's not many female coaches in charge of male athletes at the top of the world in any event, in any sport, I don't think. And what she's done with him is just phenomenal. Here he is, final of the 100 breaststroke. Peaty in 4, Wilby in 5. It's going to be fascinating to see. What time do you think he's going to go here?
It's Adam. He could throw down whatever he wants, but I'd like to see him dip under 59. I think he's probably got 58 in him, even potentially unrested. Archie Goodburn this morning swam the Scottish consideration time for the Commonwealth Games, so part of the reason why Ross and Craig Benson are not doing that race. So yeah, he had a really good start, and Adam now has just pulled away from the field.
Well, this is frightening because he gets better as the race goes on. Peaty, first to turn, and it was really quick, 27.1. He's not rested. He's only just come back in the pool, and look at this.
Yeah, he's really showing his strength. He's working really hard. His rate is higher than a lot of the swimmers in his field, but he's physically strong enough to do so. Well,
coming back a little bit is James Wilby, but Peaty tying up a little bit as expected. This happens when you're not rested. It is really impressive. Is he going to go at 58? Oh my goodness me, 58.58 for 100 meters breaststroke. Do you know how many swimmers have gone as fast as that in history? I bet it's less than the count of one hand. I bet it's less than 5 have gone under. I mean, it's just phenomenal. That would have made the final of the Olympic Games. He's not rested, he's not shaved, he's only just come back. The guy is just a god in the breaststroke swimming pool.
Yeah, he's posted pretty much the top 20 times in the world, full stop. Probably adds another one there with his 58.58. So James Wilby was really strong then, 59.17, just behind him as well. And I'm pretty sure that's a massive swim for Gregory Butler as well. 0.04 seconds away from breaking sub 60. So 3 really good swims at the top of the field there.
And look at that. Well, he looks in pretty decent shape, but he's hardly started yet. There's a good long time between now, April, and those big events. The World Championships are coming up in Budapest. Then we've got the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. And I think Adam wants to do all 3, including the European Championships in Rome. What a great swim. Adam Peaty, again, wins the 100 meters breaststroke, 58.58.
Adam, congratulations. Another British championship medal under your belt. Nice way to start the season.
Very nice way. This is my 4th 100-metre breaststroke of the season, so obviously it's going to get more difficult as you get older. You know, obviously the crowd's fantastic, but it does get harder to race. You know, and we've overcome some obstacles. Took a long time off after Olympics, so no excuses really, but we're in a good place.
Oh, we love to see it, mate. Love to hear it. I know you took some time off. You did Strictly Come Dancing. Everyone watched you. What was that whole experience like?
I can't really swear on TV, can I? So it was hard. It was very hard. But like anything, I like to challenge myself. I like to put myself out of my comfort zone. I really think that's where you grow. And me on a dance floor is just not what you want to see, really. So
oh, we all loved it, mate.
I'm glad I'm back.
Well, look, you're back to swimming, of course, now. And that time then, I've just been told, would have made any Olympic Games final ever in history. So you're not even tapered. It's sort of such a good position as we head towards so many international meets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like to think of times. I like to think of my progress in the way I process the race. Tonight was about a race. You know, I'm so thankful to have those guys in this country. We've got such a depth in 100-metre breaststroke, 200-metre breaststroke, 50 breaststroke. So the next generation of these swimmers, so if you're in that junior final, you should be looking at how can I get the open final next year? How can I win it that year after that? Hopefully, not win it, but get close.
Not just yet, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. And obviously, Worlds, Commonwealth Games, Europeans, you know, it is an absolutely stacked year of racing. What is your focus of all these major ones, or are you looking across all of them?
I mean, I want to grow. I want to grow through the rounds. I've done everything I want to do in the sport, you know, and for some that might be enough. They might be content, but my real mission now is to inspire as many people as I can through sport to go each day and go, how can I be better? How can I do better? You know, you don't even have to be a swimmer. You don't have to be a sportsman. Sports is relatable. So each of those championships, whether it's in Budapest, Birmingham, or in, where's the last one, Rome, I want to inspire people around the world, and that's what keeps me going now. I've done everything I want to do.
Yeah. And I think you're doing that, mate. And you're a dad now as well, you know, so you got your little one to inspire.
He's over there, actually.
Oh, is he? Hey.
He's topless. What's he doing?
What's hot in here? It's hot in Ponds Forge. Wants to be like Dad.
Just like his dad, yeah.
Congratulations, mate. Well done. Great way to start the week. And it's awesome to have you back here racing. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Adam Peaty.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Fantastic to see Adam really kind of not only wanting to inspire everybody else, also himself. Each year he comes back, he's a force to be reckoned with, and as he said, he thinks he's achieved everything he can in sport, but there's definitely more titles for him to win, and as he says, I'm definitely sure he's not done quite just yet.
Well, I'm sure he's not, and you know what I'd love to see him do is go the three-peat. Adam Peaty win the Olympic Games 100 metres breaststroke for the 3rd time in a row. He won it in Rio, he won it in Tokyo, and I'd just love to see him come back and do the impossible, which is now becoming possible, which is to win the 100 metres breaststroke 3 times in a row. I mean, that would be just amazing. And I can confirm that that time that he just swam there would have got 4th at the Olympic Games, just outside the medals. He's not rested. He's only just back in the water. 58.58. 58.33 was the bronze medalist. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's just such a strong force to be reckoned with, and as you say, even unrested, he posts those quick times that the rest of the world can't do.
Well, this was impressive, I have to say, and it's ominous for the rest of the field for later on in this British Championships, because Dan Jervis's time, 3:46.44, not only a new lifetime best for him, but it was also gold medal and just outside the consideration time for the worlds and the Europeans for this 400 metres freestyle. But given the fact he's pre-selected, Amy, you expect to see him in the 400 metres freestyle? I mean, then he'd probably have the 4, the 8 and the 15. That's quite a hard call.
Yeah, I think we'll still see him in those events. Dan's not one to kind of shy away and just think, oh, because I've qualified, I'm going to kind of rest on my laurels a bit. So he'll want to still come here and swim really well in the 1500. And he's showed us that he's kind of not here to mess around by swimming so quick and so well on day 1 in that men's 400 freestyle.
Well, that was a very, very impressive impressive race. And I've got to say, the mental approach from this young lady in the middle, I mean, that's blown me away. 200 free, 400 medley double. Katie Shanahan, good swim from her, 4:44.0. But that's the mental approach. I've got a busy, I'm going to build through the meet, busy meet.
Yeah, it's kind of classic trait of a medley swimmer, really. Even though she says she's a freestyle swimmer, she's got that sort of medley mentality. Backs up a lot of events, swims a lot, races a lot, isn't finished until the very last day. So yeah, it's nice to see her swim the 400 medley, really.
I've met some grumpy medley swimmers in my time, I have to say.
Hopefully that's not me.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Well, she was brilliant. 4:41.27, Freya Colbert. So a good 200 meters freestyle in this session in the final, and then came back and won the 400 medley. I wonder what time she would have done had she not had that 200 freestyle lady. Do you think she would have gone faster or slower?
Yeah, it makes you think whether sub 440 would have been quite easily in her sights. She'd probably be quite capable of doing that, and as soon as you break that 440 mark, you're up there with some of the best swimmers in the world.
Well, the next medal ceremony is the men's 100 meters breaststroke, and they've only just got out the pool. So I'd imagine they're throwing their stuff on pretty quick. I mean, it's a challenge, this, isn't it? Because they will want to go and swim down straight away and get rid of all the pain in their legs. But it looks like they're going to get them straight up onto this medal podium. Interesting ask.
Yeah, usually you would want to kind of get in and swim down as quick as you can, sort of flush the legs, come back the next day. Obviously, the men's 50 breaststroke is tomorrow morning, so these guys will probably get straight off the medal ceremony, straight into swim down, refuel, maybe have a flush and a massage, and then come back tomorrow morning. So, yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, to kind of wait all session and be last event. So, yeah, they'll be wanting to kind of get rested and back and to sleep as quick as possible.
Well, they will, but very impressive swim indeed from Greg Butler, taking on these two big guys in the centre, and to be on the same medal podium. Look at that. Hey, I had a little bit of a joke with Adam Peaty.
Yeah, he deserves to enjoy that moment. He's on there with two of the best swimmers we've got in breaststroke in the world, so why not have a little bit of a smile and crack a joke with those on the podium with you?
And I've got to say, James Wilby's silver medal, 59.1, is really, really fast. And here, Adam Peaty, winning gold, another British Championship gold medal. How many gold medals has he got now in a time that would have come fourth at the Olympics? He's not rested, he's not shaved, he's only just back in the water. What can he do? Utterly extraordinary.
Yeah, as he says, this summer's going to be really exciting for him. He's hoping to do all three events. See James there is enjoying himself. Even 59.1 from him is really quick, so the three boys on that podium swam really well and deserve to enjoy the moment.
I wonder if they were a little bit worried, because I would imagine Adam was looking at the time going, if I don't go quick here, I'm going to lose my unbeaten streak, which goes back 8 years.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that. And as I say, if you're Adam, you know you're the best swimmer in the world, but you still want to make sure that it's not guaranteed.
Well, what a fantastic evening. Some wonderful finals. Night one is done, 1 of 6, 5 more evenings to go, and Peaty wins the breaststroke in a fantastic time. Good night from Amy Mormont.
Good night. From Adrian Moorhouse.
Adrian
Oh
Moorhouse.
my gosh!
Can we try that again?
I totally panicked there and freaked out.
Oh, goodness me. Night from Andy Jameson and
Amy Wilmot.
good night.
Good night.